of that. As I'm taking a look at Bob's shot right now because Bob
Yeah.
Bob is on this, and we're going to go back to Bob right
Yeah,
now.
let's do it.
Bob, go ahead.
Give us Bob. What do you have? Do it again.
West
Hang on,
where
Bob.
I'm at.
Do it one more time.
Looking southwest a little bit from where I'm at, there's a large cone out there. I cannot tell if it was on the ground at this point, but there's definitely a cone out there.
Yeah, we think that this is.
And it's
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I think it's going to come up here pretty close to this intersection where I'm at.
Okay, we'll get you back in just a second here. Let's flip on the radar again, get it really tight. And by the way, we've got additional storms. Again, these are severe. They're going to move into the Tulsa metro soon. There's the tornado warning. If we can flip that, Stephen, over and maybe get it closer and pull that up into our, and guys, make sure that we've got 7 routed. Is that right? What's going on here? Yeah. Okay, so let's zoom in here. Yep, tornado there. You can see that area that's flashing now in that red. That's a confirmed tornado, as Bob was talking about. We're indicating the potential here for a tornado on the ground around the Persona area in Myers, moving up to the Big Heart area in the Bow Ring vicinity. So this is, again, tornado warning. It looks like that we've got a tornado now that's going to be doing some damage here. Confirmed tornado near the Persona area, moving east at about 50 miles an hour. So there's a part of the radar that we can kind of flip to, and you can see if it's lofting that debris up, and it looks like it's probably doing that. So from Persona to Myers, tornado on the ground. Take your precautions right now. Big Heart, you need to be in your tornado shelters. Here's Bob, and it looks like that circulation, Bob, will be close to you, maybe just a little bit to the north and northeast. Let's pull Bob back up if we can. So there's the shot. Bob, do you see anything else? You said a couple of minutes ago you might have seen a cone. Tell us what you're seeing right now. This is near the Big Heart area.
Yeah, I'm going to pull out to the highway here and try and get past a little bit of this hills. But there was definitely a cone out there, and I'm going to shoot back towards that right now. Not a lot of traffic out here right now, so that's good.
Okay, Bob, as you're doing that, Stephen, we'll go back to the radar. He's at the intersection there at 99. He's going to flip it over. Yeah, you see that? That's an indication that's potentially putting debris into the atmosphere. So that's going to be a tornado warning. That's a confirmed tornado. Persona, Myers. So here's 99 in Big Heart. And then here's the Pawhuska area. As long as this thing doesn't do any kind of weird movement, which it always can, the city of Pawhuska will stay a little bit to the south. But you do have a severe thunderstorm warning. This entire area is embedded in a line of severe storms, and it's going to produce 60-mile-per-hour winds. So you're still more than likely going to have some pretty significant winds in the Pawhuska area, and maybe even some hail as well. So we want you to remain aware for that. But here's the outline of the track right now. You can see there's Bob's location right at 99. Here's the Myers area. That is an indication on the radar that is telling us that debris has been lofted into the air, at least initially, the way it looks right now. So Big Heart, 530. It's at 516 right now. Oak Ridge, 538. The Whippoorwill area, 538 as well. Hickory Hill, which would be at this portion of the polygon. You need to be in your tornado precaution areas right now at 541. So what would that be? Away from walls and windows, the interior-most region of your home. If you do have a basement or if you have a storm shelter, obviously you need to be in that right now. We have severe storms all along this line. We are going to have to spread out in just a second and look at those because they are going to be moving in our direction. And there's a potential for other embedded tornadoes with this line through the early morning hours. But right in through here, you see those little small areas here, those different colors. That is where the potential rotation is located, or the tornado, near Port Center, right in through here from Myers. Take your tornado precautions right now, moving to the east-northeast pretty rapidly at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. So in all reality, it's probably already right in through here. So from Bob right up to 99 in Big Heart, Bob's going to have a pretty good look. Unfortunately, obviously, it is dark 30 early. And we never like to have tornado warnings, but especially in the overnight and early morning hours when folks are still asleep. It's dark. You're not going to be able to see this. So folks around 99 to Big Heart, take your tornado precautions right now. This is a tornado warning from a standpoint of the velocity data, from the standpoint of the debris that we can see from a radar standpoint, this storm is considered to be a tornado in progress. So this is moving toward the Hurd, the Bullring, the Hula areas. Want to take your tornado precautions right now. Potential tornado that's still on the ground causing some damage there, or at least we think it's thrown some debris into the air. You can see that shot there on the side of the screen is Bob Roloff. He is pretty close. He's just a little bit north of Pawhuska. He's not actually in Pawhuska. He's just north of Pawhuska on the 99 there. He'll be able to give us a pretty good look as it starts to get closer and maybe cross 99, but it is still slightly to the west right now near the Myers area in Persona. So just to set the stage, severe thunderstorm line is out to the west and we have a tornado warning. This is a confirmed tornado that is going to be potentially moving to the east now at about 50 miles an hour. This goes until 5:30 this morning. Right now we're at 5:18. We're just going to briefly go out to the entire line and show you that this line is considered severe. So 60 mile per hour winds. You see Stillwater and Cushing and Stroud. This is moving from the west to the east. We think this line will be in the Tulsa metro at 6 o'clock this morning. So if you do have travel plans, you have commuting plans inbound into Tulsa, our advice is either leave right now and get into town or wait until this line passes, and then it will continue to move to the east. We've got our trackers position ahead of it. Let's go back in, if we can, Stephen, here, and we'll take a look. There it is. Circulation is not as strong as it was about 10 minutes ago, but it is still showing signals in the atmosphere that it could be still on the ground, producing some damage, throwing that into the sky there. And that's, Stephen's going to highlight where that signal is located. So here's Bob right on 99, and here's the Myers area, Persona, Big Heart, Hickory Hill. Now, Oak Ridge technically is out of that polygon, but we want you to go ahead and take some precautions here. It is such a fast mover. It's going to move into your area pretty fast. The question is the circulation going to stay or is it going to go? But right now it's still very strong circulation still. Let's check in with Bob Roloff. Bob, tell us your exact location and what you're seeing right now. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I'm still down here at 99 and 60. It is very difficult right now to get some sort of an idea if it's on the ground. I'm not getting any power flashes at this moment. There is lightning out there, but it's hit and miss as far as lighting up the background on this. So right now, it's just trying to find it out here in the dark. Back to you, Alan.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult. And that's also a difficulty. Of course, you know, folks will hear about this and they'll look out the window. Hey, is it close by? If you're in this area, you need to take your precautions. We think this is on the ground. This has been on the ground. It still may be on the ground. We can tell that by looking at part of the radar that shows us where potentially some debris has been lofted into the atmosphere. So it is now a little bit east of the Persona area and east of Myers. It's right in here. And Stephen will circle kind of where that general area is. That tornado warning goes until 5:30. We're at 5:20 right now. So again, Pawhuska is right in through here. It's just a little bit south, but a severe storm is moving into Pawhuska right now. So Pawhuska, you have the potential for 60 mile per hour winds, some hail, but the tornado circulation is right there. Moving to the east, we've got it at about 50 miles an hour. Stephen, go ahead and pull that back out a little bit. And just kind of a little heads up, folks, across the northern Washington County area, southern areas near Chautauqua, over to Caney, the Tyro area. We want you to, to be prepared here in case this circulation continues and a warning is issued a little bit more to the east of this area. So not right now. The warnings that we have ahead of it would be that severe thunderstorm warning, that yellow polygon that extends from Fairfax to Winona to Barnstall. We're not ignoring the rest of the line. Stephen is kind of looking at that line, and we'll have a fast track on that in just a second. But this is the area of concern right now, that tornado warning. And you see that red flashing polygon. That's an indication in our system that a tornado is on the ground or has been on the ground. And we can also see that from the data that indicates that debris has been lofted into the atmosphere. There's a product the coalition product, and it has been indicating that as well. Right in here, and that's still a very tight circulation. It's maybe not be as strong as it was about 20 minutes ago, but it's still a very tight circulation that could indicate a tornado that is on the ground right now. So here's Bob, and he's near the Big Heart area, just to the south, a mile or two, and that circulation would be just slightly northwest of Bob's location here. Stephen's going to zoom in and give us a track right now. Also, take a look at that CZ product if you can, Stephen, and see if that is still showing the potential of that thing lofting stuff into the atmosphere. Yeah, it is a little bit there, unfortunately. So folks around Big Heart and Heard, take your tornado precautions right now. Stephen, if you can put a track on that, if you want to. We're going to track that northeast at about 50 miles an hour. And this is going to continue to move to the north and east. We are in a very dynamic atmosphere this morning. So, a lot of times these tornadoes embedded with this line may just be a little fast spin up and it moves on. But the atmosphere today is a little different. I mean, these could be some stronger tornadoes. They could be lasting longer than you would normally see these tornadoes embedded within the line, and could spin up even more. So, all right, Stephen's got that track there. Stephen, if you can, tell folks where it's located, where it's going to be in the next 15, 25 minutes. Go ahead.
So, yeah, we're still considering this tornado confirmed until kind of further notice here, even though, as Alan mentioned, velocity has changed a little bit. That debris product has changed a little bit. But here's the track here. We're treating this like, again, this is a confirmed tornado because it was a few minutes ago. So, Big Heart, you need to be taking tornado precautions right now. It is 5:24. Big Heart, 5:30. So you've got 5 minutes until it's there. The Heard vicinity at 5:32, but basically kind of the same time frame. Bowering at 5:38, and then this would take it to Hula by 5:44, Dewey by 5:49. Again, on its current track, that would stay just a hair north of Bartlesville as this tracks to the east-northeast again very quickly at about 50 miles per hour. And as you see it right now, we can kind of see it on that the velocity product is there. We may very well have two tornadoes, at least the very possibility of two tornadoes in that. We had kind of the first circulation. I'm going to take the track off and zoom back into it so you can see. We had the first circulation that produced the confirmed tornado a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
And now you can see it. So we've got essentially the possibility of two tornadoes right now, and both of these coming towards Big Heart. I've got Bob. I can hear Bob calling in. So, Bob, we're going to go over to Bob's shot right now. Bob, what have you got?
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple things. One, it's very dark out here, and I'm not seeing any more power flashes. I think the power's down. And if it's where it is right now, it's probably going to be rain wrapped, so we're not going to be able to see it. I'm getting not real strong winds, about 15 or 20 right here, but it should be coming up to Highway 99 right now.
All right, yeah, Bob, go ahead and stick with it.
Yeah, Bob, stay with that if you can. I know it's going to be a little difficult. He's just a little bit to the east-northeast of that. Let's go back to the radar. There it is. And a lot of times what will happen is these storm cells, particularly in this environment, will go through a cycling phase. So it may be that this is now going to be the dominant circulation right in through here. So Stephen had mentioned kind of those two areas. And there's still, boy, Bob, you're pretty close to that, my friend. Be careful there. So here's Bob's location. And again, right in through here, that circulation might be trying to reform pretty close to where Bob is located and would be moving to the east-northeast quite rapidly. So from Big Heart to Heard, the Bowring area, Oak Ridge, Whippoorwill, take your tornado precautions right now. You can see that's actually north of Pawhuska. You see that? It says near Pawhuska. It's actually north of Pawhuska. So this is going to be around the Big Heart area. If we can put that near Big Heart, that would be a better indicator of where that is located there so folks can know exactly. Stephen, kind of pull out just a little bit so we can show folks. Again, here's Pawhuska, all right? Pawhuska is south of that circulation. Here's the Wool Rock area, and here's Bartlesville, Copan, and the Hula vicinity. So folks around Hula, Bowring area, Caney, Kansas, you need to be prepared for the potential for this storm. And you see that red flashing polygon, that's an indication that the tornado is considered on the ground. It is considered on the ground. We've seen some data in some of the radar that's throwing circulation data or debris basically in the atmosphere. Stephen will check that CC product here in just a second. Just very quickly go back down the line with another radar product we can. We don't have any other tornado warnings at this point within the line, but we're going to watch because all in through there might be one developing or at least a circulation feature right in through here to the west of where Brandon's located. And you see from Cushing, those are all severe thunderstorm warnings. Those have 60-mile-per-hour winds, potentially some large hail moving from the west to the east. That obviously can cause some damage. Now here's Tulsa. We're at 527 right now. We think around 6 o'clock, this line of thunderstorm activity is going to be close to our area. But the tornado warning that we have right now is again in the far northern areas. This is northern sections of Osage County. It's been right in through here. There's that circulation that's going through another, looks like a cycle. All of a sudden, it's now again the northern part of that circulation that is still there. So yeah, this thing is cycling. This thing is cycling here. Here's 99, and there's Big Heart. So right around the Big Heart area and Highway 10, take your tornado precautions. It's moving over your area right now. Could be causing some damage, moving northeast at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. Folks around State Highway 99, Big Heart, the Herd area, Highway 10, take your tornado precautions. Stephen, zoom out a little bit if we can. Stephen's doing a lot of things for us here in the weather office with tracking and also getting the trackers information. There's another circulation. Again, I think we have 2 circulations. Potentially we could have 2 tornadoes here. Could have 2 tornadoes that are moving in this general area. So we want to remain aware even in the southern part of that polygon area, right in through here and right in through here as well. And Bob is pretty close to that, but again, it's going to be wrapped and it is going to be pretty significant here to try to keep up with this from a tracking standpoint. We just want to remain aware that this circulation, again, has the potential to cause some damage. So take your tornado precautions. We're not going to get too caught up on which circulation feature right now might be doing some issues, but we want to take this tornado precaution, this area, all in this general region. And so we're going to extend that. And you can see, I think the polygon has now been extended a little bit longer into these regions here. So that is a new tornado warning that's kind of in the place of this one. So near Herd to the west-southwest, that's a tornado precaution right now that's underway with that tornado spin there. And then also up through Highway 10, the Hula area, Caney, Kansas, you're right on the edge of that to where that tornado warning is going to be underway. Stephen's going to get a timeline here, a new estimated time of arrival. If you're to the west-southwest of this circulation, you're still into the rain, and you still could have some pretty significant damaging winds even on the backside of this, but the tornado circulation is right in through here. So timeline right now, Oak Ridge, we're at 5:30. You need to take your precautions. This is a fast mover. Could be there at 5:37. Copan Lake at 5:47. Cotton Valley 5:55. And then it will continue to move on past the 6 o'clock hour into portions of northern Washington County. Right now, that circulation looks like it's going to stay a little bit north of Bartlesville, maybe slightly near or north of Dewey. But there's no tornado warnings right now for Bartlesville or Dewey. It's areas to the north. Stephen, we can see where that circulation is located. This has been a cycling storm. It looked like at one point we might have had 2 circulations. Now it looks like, again, that this first circulation continues to be the one of concern, and that's going to be around the Big Heart area. Put your track on that. We'll track that. We'll go back to Bob and see if we can find, if he has any more information, because, again, he's in such a spot now with the rain coming down. It may be very difficult to see. Bob, go ahead. Give us an update where you're at and what you're seeing right now.
Well, I'm between Highway 60 and Herd. I've got one rotation that's passed behind me, but with this rain, I can't see any of it. I have not encountered any damage yet, but I should be getting in an area where if there was a tornado on the ground here at Highway 60, I should start seeing some damage. And due to the visibility and the heavy rain, I'm having to slow down so I don't drive in any power lines.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. All right. So Bob Roloff, he is right there. He's actually well north of Pawhuska, tracking that storm. That is a tornado warned storm. We'll go back to the radar just a second here, show you what we're looking at. It is right there. There's the Herd area. If you're a resident near Herd or areas in this kind of the northeastern sections of Osage County, we want you to go ahead and take your tornado precautions. This has a history of being a tornado on the ground. The potential that it may do that again, I don't think, we'll put up the CC in just a second here and take a look and see if we're seeing any of that lofted right now. That circulation is not quite as strong as it was, but it is still this area that we need to be concerned with. Here's Big Heart and Herd, Whippoorwill, the waterfowl rescue area. Stephen, when you get a second, we'll throw CC on and take a look just on the screen. So from Hula right in through here, it's a little noisy, but I don't think it's doing anything right now. So that's a little bit of better news, but still, tornado warning is underway. Throw it back on velocity, Stephen. Put that track on it, and let's get folks who are just now waking up here around the Chautauqua area, Katy, Kansas, Cotton Valley. Make sure that we know exactly where that storm circulation is moving here. Moving northeast at about 50 miles an hour. So folks around the Hurd area, Whippoorwill, Katy, Kansas. Now, technically, that severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning polygon is right in through here. So technically, you got a severe thunderstorm warning that's underway here in the southern Kansas area. But the tornado warning is right in this general area here, and that might extend into southern Kansas. So from Big Heart back down, this is circulation. It's been pretty tight. It's kind of opening up a little bit right now. We did have what we thought would be a tornado that was on the ground, throwing some debris into the air regarding that circulation. So Bob is pretty close to it, but the issue here is it's moving so fast, moving 50 to 60 miles an hour. It's shrouded in rain. It's night, it's early in the morning. There's not a lot of light that we can see with. We are getting some lightning strikes as well. So again, this is moving to the northeast. So if you are just now tuning in here, we do have a tornado warning that is still underway for portions of northeastern Osage County, northern Washington County. This goes until 6 o'clock, technically here. Officially, it is 5:33 this morning. 5:33 this morning. Now, there's a broad area of severe storms that are located basically along that area that goes all the way back to the west of Tulsa. This is moving to the east at about 45 miles an hour, and that's also going to have the potential to produce some damaging winds. So the tornado circulation is here. Stephen will take just for a second, go right back out. We'll come back to you for that timeline in just a second. Let me show you where the rest of the line is located, because we do think this is going to have some impact in the Tulsa metro. So here's Tulsa and Skiatook and Sperry and Sapulpa. Out to the west, here's Allen around the Shamrock area. Again, all of this is still west of us. There's Vaughn, and he is in the storm near Yale. So that's moving from the west to the east. Now, to be clear, at this point, these are severe thunderstorm warnings. These are not tornado warnings, but within this line, the potential is here that we can have some circulation spin up. So we're going to watch that pretty carefully. There's the circulation that we have. We'll take it right back up to the northern areas, northern sections of Osage County. There's that circulation. Bob Roloff is right there on it. Bob, tell us what you know. Go ahead, Bob. Bob, can you hear us? It may be difficult because he's
Alan.
Okay, yeah.
Alan, I'm headed towards Bowring on 10. I'm talking to deputy up here. We still can't get eyes on it at all because of the rain. We're going to continue to head east on 10.
Okay, Bob. From a CC standpoint, at least the last minute or two that we checked, and Stephen, we'll do that in a second, didn't look like it was lofting anything right now, but it had been. So you see that circulation, those different areas between green and red. That is the circulation feature that is underway. There's Bob's location. He's near the Bowring area, Hickory Hill, and that's going to move right across the far northern area. Stephen Nairns, if you can, give us a track there where it's located right now, where it's going. We got a tornado warning, northeastern sections of Osage County, a small part of Washington County. Go ahead.
So you can you see it on the track. You just heard what Bob mentioned about heading in towards Bowery, and what we've seen with the velocity is that it's not as tight of a circulation as we had maybe 10, 15 minutes ago, which is good. It's becoming more of kind of a linear feature, kind of the damaging line, damaging wind, straight line wind potential. We still have the tornado warning on it. So Bowering at 5:38, time's 5:36. So Bowering, that means you need to be taking precautions right now. Hula 5:44. Copan, I've included you on the track. This is the area where we've had the circulation is still moving kind of more northeast. So where we had that circulation may go just north of Copan, but even if it does, the leading edge of the line would still be at Copan at 5:51. So Copan, that's 15 minutes from now. So you need to be prepared for damaging wind potential for that, and then that would take it up towards Katy, Kansas at about the same time, at about 5:51 on its current track. And so we'll zoom it back in. You can tell how that velocity is not as tight of a feature as I mentioned, as we had. The circulation is not as tight as it was maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. I'll take the lightning off so you can see it a little bit better. And Alan, I knew you were asking for the debris product. And what I'll do is I'll just loop this back just for a minute so you can kind of see where we were that was about 15 minutes ago when we had that confirmed tornado moving out of the Personia area towards Big Heart. And you can tell, you see that little spot how it kind of just washes away here over the last few minutes. So it looks like some of that debris may have been tree debris. It doesn't mean it was house debris or anything like that, but whatever debris that was has gotten kind of lofted and out of the track where the tornado was. Is this velocity, the rotation's gotten a little more broad in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing that right now, as you just mentioned. The circulation's still there. It's very broad. It's kind of opened up, so it's not quite as tight, but it's also getting into position that it's a little bit more, slightly north away from the radar data itself. So we'll still have this tornado warning that's underway right in through here. Oak Ridge, Hula area, Hickory Hill, Chautauqua, this little pocket, it does extend into northwestern Osage County. Surrounding that, in fact, now we're going to go and take a look at all of this other thunderstorm activity, Stephen, that we have, is that we do have a line of severe storm activity that is continuing to be a concern, and it's going to move from the west to the east. So we'll zoom in here now and kind of take a look just very quickly at the far western sections, because this is going to impact, it's already impacting Pawnee, impacting the Stillwater area, far western sections of Osage County. Here's Jennings and Yale and Cushing. So let's go ahead and let's do a little analysis here on the air, Steve. Just kind of take a look and see what we see. Heavy thunderstorm activity. There's going to be some hail in some of that. We're concerned right in through here. Might be a little possibility of some higher velocities. So we'll take a look at that if we can. Go to velocity data from Jennings and Yale. Okay, right in there. Don't see anything right now. It's kind of spinning, but it is strong velocities from Merrimack to Jennings. The Yale area, Oilton. There's Vaughn Castor. I don't know if Vaughn is in a position to where he can tell us what's happening right now, just very quickly before we go back to Bob on that tornado warning. Let's check with Vaughn.
Yep.
Vaughn, you're located kind of in that storm just about a mile or two east of Yale, Oklahoma. What's happening right now with the storm cells that are soon to be moving into Creek County? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on Highway 51, just east of Yale. There's an area, you can't hardly see it, it's dark still, but there's an area that's kind of lowered, that's south of Yale.
Okay.
And the winds I had when I came through Yale, or just to the west of Yale, 60-mile-an-hour gusts. So it was very, very strong. These things have picked up a lot of energy once they cross 35, and they're moving it on. So we're gonna stay up with this. I think you can see that just a little bit better there in the shot. That is a lowered area on this just south of Yale. So
Yep.
we're going to keep following. Back to you.
All right. Appreciate it. That's Vaughn, just right now on the leading edge of that storm cell. We've got the storms that are severe, Cleveland and Howlett and Jennings. They're moving east. They're going to move into the metro pretty fast. Let's go back up north if we can, Stephen. We'll take a look. We've got that tornado warning that's still underway. We just want to get you a set that we know that these storms are going to be pushing into the metro soon. But there's the tornado warning. The circulation is not nearly as strong as it was about 40 minutes ago, but it is still a concern. You can kind of see it almost in the reflectivity data right in through here, but it looks like that it's kind of broadened right in this general area. So it's going to be from Chautauqua, Caney, Kansas, Cotton, Hula area, Copan, right in this general area there. That is where the potential of that circulation. Yeah, it's not nearly as tight whatsoever, but that's some good news. But the tornado warning is still underway from our friends at the Weather Service until 6 o'clock this morning. So from Oak Ridge and 10 over to Hula, we still want you to take your tornado precautions here right up and possibly even over into the southern Kansas area from Chautauqua on 99 and then around the Caney, Kansas area as well. This is also, and I'll tell you, here's the inside baseball. This is also an area that cell phone coverage at times can get a little spotty. So we may occasionally lose Bob's shot here. But if we can, we'll pull Bob back up, Stephen, and take a look at his shot full screen if we can, and also talk into Bob. So I think Bob is still with us, at least from an audio standpoint. So Bob, tell us your location again and what you're seeing right now. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm just a little bit west of Bowring on Highway 10. Still in torrential rain, a lot of lightning out here. But it seems to me that this has got more of a widespread wind right now. I'm getting buffeted pretty good, probably 45, 55-mile-an-hour gusts at times. There are areas that are out of power up here right now. There's no power at all. So we probably had some lines go down up here in northern Osage County. But as far as power flashes, haven't seen any because powers down already. So we'll try and keep up with it, but starting to get behind due to the heavy rain and the road conditions. Back to you.
Yeah, Bob, we appreciate it. And Bob's, again, doing a great job there with what he's got to work with, because it's road conditions that are kind of tough to begin with anyway. But trying to track a tornado circulation early in the morning with no sunlight, that is a lot of work right there. But the velocity data is indicating, for the most part, that our circulation feature has weakened quite a bit. Notice at this point that tornado warning does not extend into southern Kansas, but we do know that our friends in Caney, the sirens have sounded in the Caney area, and the reason why is because of this circulation feature. So the sirens are sounding in Caney, Kansas. We know that right now. This was producing a tornado. From a velocity standpoint and from a CC product standpoint, it doesn't look like it's doing that right now. But there's still enough of a circulation that we want you to take your tornado precautions. And again, that's right across far northeastern sections of Osage County. And you can see where Bob is located there on the corner of the screen. Now, with that said, and again, we're not leaving the tornado warning, but we're going to go back down to the south, because we now have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going to include the Tulsa metro. So that polygon that now is extending from portions of I-35 basically all the way back down to just south of Tulsa. All of those counties are included in this new severe thunderstorm warning that's going to go until 6:30 this morning. Right now it's at 5:43. So this line of storm activity is moving to the east, anywhere between 50 to 55 miles an hour. And kind of notice the orientation of this, how it's slanted a little bit. So the northern areas will see it first compared to those southern areas. That's why that polygon is also kind of slanted. And this is moving to the east pretty rapidly. We do have trackers ahead of this. Of course, we heard from Vaughn just a couple of minutes ago. But we've got Allen, Hancock near the Olive area in western sections of Creek County. Also Brandon Wells, which is on that leading edge. He's kind of near Keystone Lake. So Stephen, if we can, let's pull up maybe Brandon. And if we can talk to Brandon, I know, Brandon, you're going to be right on the edge of that line of thunderstorm activity. So go ahead, Brandon. We'll take your audio and put your video up as soon as we can. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, good morning, Alan. So right now we're going to be here at the 48 and 412 exit. We haven't really got a really good glimpse of the leading edge of this. It's still a little off in our distance. But from time to time, the cloud-to-ground lightning back to our southwest near that cell near Yale intensifying as well. But there are some ominous looking clouds, which is to be expected along the leading edge of this, and we're going to watch those very closely this morning. But nothing too significant right now at this very second.
All right, Brandon, and I know you'll turn it around and move it back to town here, and it's moving quite fast. Stephen's going to have a track on that entire line in just a second. We're going to take you up to the north one more time. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. It does include technically the Tulsa County vicinity. We're going to have that estimated time of arrival in just a second, but we want to go up to the north now and show you, again, this is the area that has been prompting a tornado warning. The circulation feature has changed. It looks like it's kind of opened up a little bit. It doesn't look like it's quite strong enough at this point to continue that tornado warning. So now areas from Caney south to Copan, the Dewey area, Bartlesville, that is a severe thunderstorm warning that is underway. So as far as I know at this particular moment, let me kind of double check here. Yeah, it looks like that tornado warning has been allowed to at least expire or possibly canceled early, because that circulation has basically kind of opened up. In other words, it's not quite as tight, but still can be causing some 60, 65 mile per hour winds that can cause some damage. So we still want you to be aware of it, but to be perfectly clear here, this is no longer a tornado warning that we're aware of here, no longer a tornado warning. This is now a severe thunderstorm warning. So from Chautauqua to Caney to Tyro to Independence, Elk City, Kansas, over to Coffeyville and South Coffeyville, you're included in a severe thunderstorm warning. Yep, that is the cell that did prompt a tornado. At one point, we think it did have a tornado on the ground. It does not right now. It does not right now. This is a long line of storm activity. It goes all the way down to basically the Arbuckles. It's past Oklahoma City. The good news, it's moving kind of fast. The bad news, it's not fast enough, right, to get it out here. So we're going to have to deal with it for the early morning commute. So we're at 5:46 right now. Most kids are not up, headed to the bus stop at this point. That's good. The next 90 minutes, that will change. It looks like that the storm line should be east of Tulsa when most kids will be ready to head to the bus stop, but it's still going to be pretty close. But areas to the east, that will be different here. You can see Sequoia Quentin is on I-40. He is now west of Henrietta. He'll pick up the line as it gets into the western sections of the county, and then also right in through here. So we've got our trackers positioned. Here's Allen Hancock. He's in the northwestern sections of Creek County area. We're going to go back to Vaughn in a second and get an update of what's happening with those storms just a little bit south of Pawnee. And then we'll also go back up to Bob, even though that tornado circulation is no longer viable in terms of potentially causing a tornado there. We still want to get an update with Bob, what he can see and where this system is going. Stephen, in just a minute, if you can, we'll just do a track on the middle part of this line so that we can tell folks when we think this is going to be impacting here into the Tulsa County vicinity, especially through the early morning hours. But at this point, let's check in with Vaughn Castor if we can. So Vaughn, located still kind of in that line, a little bit south of Jennings, slightly northwest of the Oilton area, east of Yale. That's a severe storm. Tell us what you know, Vaughn. Go ahead.
Yeah, on Highway 51, getting some pretty erratic winds right here, Alan. The rain has just started here at Highway 51 and just south of Jennings, like you said. But this area that I was looking at, it had a lowered area. I couldn't confirm any kind of rotation or anything like that, but it definitely had a lowered area. And I think it has now crossed over 51. It's between 51 and 412. So we're going to see if we can get another look at it right up here. And as soon as I do, I'll get back to you.
Okay, Vaughn, appreciate it. And by the way, Vaughn's been out all night to the west of I-35, and picked up these storms and continue to move east. Just a little bit more to the north, there's Brandon Wells. He's located to the west of Keystone, getting closer into that line of storm activity. Brandon will give you just a quick update if you can. Are the winds starting to change here at your location? Tell us what you can see, where you're at. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, Alan, well, right now we've had gusts near 35 miles an hour measured, so not too substantially strong. Right here, we're going to be at 48 and 412. You can see there in our shot, we're looking to the southwest. You can see the leading edge of that starting to encroach on us. You could just see there a second ago, the cloud-to-ground lightning is really starting to intensify in that specific location. That's probably going to be just maybe south of Hallett, looks like, but it's very ominous looking, and we'll have to pay attention to it, and we're going to be here to do so. Back to you.
All right, appreciate it, Brandon. Let's go back to that line of storm activity. So from Hominy back down to Cleveland, the Jennings area, Tarleton, Blackburn, again, potentially here's some 60, 65 mile per hour winds, moving to the east at 50 to 55 miles per hour. Stephen, will zoom out when you can. We'll take a track on that entire, meaty part of the line there, and then we'll head back up north to kind of take a look. So just kind of everybody get your bearings here. It's 5:40 a.m. We've had a tornado warning with this storm cell that is now about to move from northern sections of the Nowata area into southern Kansas. It's no longer got a tornado warning on it. We're still watching carefully in case that circulation pops back up. There's a little circulation there. Strong, potentially damaging winds, Winona, Pawhuska south, from Barnsdall, south-southwest, back down to Yale. You can see that entire area basically has the potential for some damaging winds. That's a severe thunderstorm warning that's underway. Stephen Narrance has got a long track to just kind of give us an update of kind of where we think this is going to go here for folks trying to get that commute underway in the next hour.
Yeah, the long and short of it is if you're about to head west of Tulsa, I'd hold off if you could. Otherwise, you're going to be driving right into this powerful line of storms with some straight line damaging wind potential kind of, coming right at you if you're trying to drive west into it. So, again, that's going over through Osage County over Barnsdall right now. Bartlesville, time right now is 5:51. So you see Bartlesville 5:53. It means it's right on your doorstep as far as the leading edge of those strong damaging winds. That would be Keystone Lake at 5:56, right where Brandon's located. It'll be there in a few minutes. Oshaleta at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to hop ahead to get a few more cities on here. Coffeyville at 6:01, Lenape 6:07, Skytook in the northern side of the metro 6:07, which is about 15 minutes from now. Again, this is moving pretty quickly. It'll probably take it a little while longer than that to get into the heart of Tulsa just because of how the lines 607. Bristow is at 613, and then I'll just hop down the track just a little bit further just so I can get a few more cities in here for you. Collinsville 616, and then Talala 620, and then Tulsa, that first look at kind of Tulsa proper, 621. That's 30 minutes from now. So on its current pace, that would bring this line into Tulsa proper in about 30 minutes. That may change slightly, a little bit, but I'd say about 30 minutes from now is when we'll be feeling at least the leading edge of this moving into Tulsa with, again, at the moment, some damaging wind potential, straight line wind potential. But as we've already seen this morning, we can have quick spin ups and quick tornadoes happen along the line. So watching it very closely. So Tulsa, about 30 minutes until the leading edge starts to move into Tulsa.
Okay, Stephen, greatly appreciate it. Get everybody up to date on that. And again, the far eastern areas, you step outside, you can kind of tell. This has got a lot of wind energy this morning, lots of humidity values. Yesterday was totally different. It was really cool. We had dew points in the 40s, and that has changed. Obviously, this front's going to push through. By the way, this is just an opportunity for the early morning hours. The majority of the day is going to be fine. It'll be pretty windy behind this line. We'll go back into the 70s for highs, but we'll do part of this again late tonight and tomorrow morning across the northern areas, and we'll have more on that through the morning hours if the weather here will kind of let us do that. So let's zoom back in. We have these yellow polygons. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway right now. That does include part of Tulsa County. Technically, it's the northern half of Tulsa County right now that's under this current severe thunderstorm warning. One reason why is because the orientation of the line is kind of tilted, so it's going to take a longer time for this portion of the line from Cushing back to Kearney and Stroud to get into the southern part of Tulsa County. Allen Hancock is located in the western sections of Creek County. We'll talk to Allen coming up soon, but first, Stephen, let's go back up to the north if we can for our friends and neighbors near the Coffeyville, Kansas area, because this has been a concern through the last hour. Would have been that storm cell. This is the one that prompted a tornado warning that did produce a tornado earlier across central Osage County. From a standpoint of the radar data, there's still a little bit of velocity data here that can indicate the potential for some rotation, but it's a very broad rotation, at least at this particular moment. So from Copan and Cotton Valley and Tyro and the Jefferson area, South Coffeyville, Elliott, this is a broad area of rotation, but it's not strong enough right now to prompt a tornado warning from our friends at the National Weather Service. So we just want to watch it as it continues to track pretty fast to the east-northeast here at about 50 miles an hour. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. This can cause damage with some 60 to 65 mile per hour winds. So right along Highway 10, South Coffeyville back up to Liberty and Jefferson. Now for our friends and neighbors in the southern part of Oklahoma, this is right on the Oklahoma-Kansas state line area from Tyro and Caney to the north. And you can see where that is kind of fired up right now. That's an indication of some pretty strong winds around the Copan area and Tyro and Caney moving to the east right now. That is a circulation. It's kind of something that we need to watch right now. There's no tornado warning that's on it at this particular moment. So track that, Stephen, if we can. And again, these are fast movers here. Those are moving northeast at least at 50, maybe even close to 60 miles an hour. So we're going to have Coffeyville, Kansas. This portion of the storm is going to be knocking on your doorstep here in about 10 minutes or so. At 6:06 is when we think it's going to be there, and it's basically 5:56 right now. Liberty at 6:16, the Vandalia area at 6:20, and it will just keep on trucking here to Altamont, Oswego, and some of those areas. So that's the circulation that we're watching. It's not a tornado warning at this point, but it is something we're going to be watching with concern. Bob is located right there behind it. And again, it's moving so fast, Bob, it's hard to stay up with it, but even behind it, there should be some pretty stout winds that are going on. Tell us your location and what you're experiencing right now, Bob.
Yeah, I'm between Hewlett Reservoir and Copan, probably closer to Copan right now. And, yeah, you're getting buffeted out here, probably behind it 45-mile-an-hour winds kind of knocking me around, plus the torrential rain. I'm trying to catch up to it, which is a little hard just because of the heavy rain that we're getting. But I'm not too far behind it, but still concerned that it might cycle back up. I've got increased amount of lightning probably in the last 5 minutes. Back to you.
Yeah, it is a broad area still of some rotation there. Now, Bob, again, he's behind it, so he's going to try to get a little closer, but it is just flying. It's moving northeast almost at 60 miles an hour. So it's this entire area. You see those different colors, basically? That is an indication of some rotation, but it's not tight enough at this point to kind of prompt a tornado warning. So I want you to remain aware of that. But from Juan, Noxie, the Coffeyville area back up to Liberty, and again, that's all moving to the north and east right now. That is a severe thunderstorm. You can have 60-mile-per-hour winds with that, so we're going to watch that still carefully. Now, we're going to take a trip down to the south here. All right, let's go back down south. This is a fairly intense storm that is located near the Cleveland area. Actually, this portion of the storm has kind of slowed down slightly, just a little bit here. It's moving east, but in terms of as fast as it should be moving, it is slowed down slightly. Not much, but just a little bit, because it's still quite not yet past the Frontier Shores area. It is past Howlett on 99. It's past the Jennings area. You're still going to get some pretty strong winds behind it, but we're concerned with what's going to happen right along and ahead of it. So we have strong south winds now at 40 miles per hour feeding into this storm system. And there could be some really heavy downpours and possibly even some hail around Cleveland and Hominy back down through 99. And then we're going to flip that over if we can, Stephen, and take a look at those velocities. There's some interesting velocities, at least, or reflectivity data, pardon me. So, nothing right now that's indicating anything kind of tightening up, but that is some strong winds near Hominy. It's at least 50-mile-per-hour winds, maybe even slightly stronger, near 60 mile per hour from Hominy south. Here's the Skytook area, the Lake Keystone area, and again, 58-mile-per-hour winds that would fit right in with the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. So, yeah, we can get those gusts from 50 to 60, maybe even 65 mile per hour. That can cause some wind damage, so we want you to remain aware of that. This is not a tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that is underway. The tornado warning was underway earlier this morning, about 40 minutes ago across portions of Osage County. It is no longer underway in the Osage County area. How about Tulsa? Here's Sand Springs and Manford, and back over into the city of Tulsa itself. We do not have storms right now, but we do anticipate that we are going to have some of these storms here pretty fast. We've got a little product that we can use to just kind of give a bird's eye view of when that line of storm activity will come through, not necessarily a city by city, but Stephen, if you'll tack that track, and I think it's set up right now for 50 or 55, and just draw it just straight from Manford to Tulsa. And this is just going to be a rough estimate. Oh, he's actually going to do a real deal track. Look at that, Stephen. Appreciate it. He'll do a real track and put that estimated time of arrival there on the screen. If we can pull up Stephen, give us a location of where it's at and when we think it's going to be closer into the metro. Go ahead.
Here's again a glance ahead on that track, and I'm also extending it out so we can get it further into Tulsa. So time is 5:59, so we're coming up on 6 o'clock right now. We're going to keep going on our coverage of this for a while. Even though tornado warnings in Osage County have expired, we have severe thunderstorm warnings along this line, but we're just in a setup where obviously damaging wind potential continues, but a quick tornado spin up could certainly occur as this line moves in. So that's why we have to keep on it. So Manford 6:03, so 4 minutes from now, the leading edge will be moving into Manford. Bristow 6:15, Collinsville at 6:21, Kellyville at 6:22, and then further down the line from there, let me extend the track for you just a little bit more so I can get this into kind of Tulsa proper. So like I said, Collinsville 6:21, and then we will push the track further down the line. There we go. Tulsa at 6:24. So that's about 25 minutes from now. That would get this storm track into the leading edge of the line into Tulsa. Now, as Alan mentioned, there's part of this has slowed down just a hair as it approaches Tulsa. So it might be a few minutes later than that, but currently at about 6:24, you can say actually just updated 6:26 for from basically kind of the bulk of Tulsa, and then Tulsa Hills closer to 6:30 would be the track for this. At the moment, damaging wind potential, but we have to keep an eye out for rotation along this line as well.
Okay, Stephen, appreciate it. So again, Tulsa, 6:20, 6:30, that would be right where that line is located. So in the western Tulsa County area, it's going to show up a little faster than that. I mean, this is moving pretty fast. Sapulpa, 6:24, 6:25, 6:30, Owasso, same thing. Tulsa Hills, 75 inbound. Again, if you have to be in town, in Tulsa, commuted in from Old Mulgee, if you leave right now, you get a chance to get into it, but if you wait another 10 or 15 minutes, my advice is wait and let's let this pass, and then you can come in behind it. It's all, it's always good to be late and not get into this, big mess here with these big storms and the potential for some 60 and 65 mile per hour winds, some large hail. Remain aware, there's a tornado watch that is in effect along this line because the dynamic energy is just really ramped up this morning. Let's go in and take a look here. Here's Alan Hancock. He's in the far northwestern sections of the Creek County area right now. He's on 33. And let's check in with Alan. He's been out early this morning, also positioned, ready to go and check these storms out. They're about to move into western Creek County. Alan, what do you know? Tell us. Alan Hancock.
Hey, good morning. We are just east of Drumright right now, taking a look out to the south-southwest. We've been measuring winds this morning. We had a gust of up to 56-mile-an-hour winds just outside of the severe parameters, of course. Recent gust about 40, but we're sitting sustained winds 15 to 22 right now. Keeping a close eye on the sky. Nothing super significant. Getting blown around a little bit by the winds. Lightning's picking up, but nothing else super crazy right now, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Alan. Hopefully we keep it that way. Tornado watch in effect ahead of this line. That means conditions are favorable for the development of these storms that can produce tornado. We've had one tornado so far that we know of this morning, and that was, about an hour, maybe 45 minutes ago in the northern Osage County area. That is, circulation is no longer there. We don't have a tornado warning at this point. That's Alan's location in Drumright. Let's kind of zoom right back out. New severe thunderstorm warning that's underway. Let's zoom in here. It's going to be including Okemah. And there's Sequoia is in Okemah. He's in a good position to pick that up. But that's from Boley to Welty, up 48 to Bristow, and then over into Sapulpa. Sapulpa, you're now included in a severe thunderstorm warning. Also, portions of Tulsa County. So as we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, because the orientation of this line is kind of tilted a little bit, that's why this portion of that severe thunderstorm warning has just now been issued for the southern sections of Tulsa County. And the anticipation is it's probably going to continue on a little bit more to the east. There is slightly different values in the atmosphere to the east of the Tulsa metro. There's a low-end chance that some of this might weaken a little bit as it moves east, but right now that is not the case. So from Bristow and Welty, Sapulpa, back up into the Tulsa area, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings now that cover a pretty large chunk of real estate. What is not included is Muskogee, Choteau, Adair, and Veneta. No severe thunderstorm warnings, but you're under a watch. The tornado watch technically is not underway for this row of counties from Cherokee County eastward at this point because the atmosphere may change a little bit as this line gets closer into that. But we still want you to just remain aware, obviously, of this line starting to get closer into us. So here's the outline of the watch. Oh, now just to continue that over into Arkansas. How about that? So tornado watch now continues all the way into Arkansas. So from Ottawa County, Cherokee County, you're now included in the tornado watch. Sallisaw, the Poteau vicinity, also in northwestern sections of Arkansas with that tornado watch that is going to be underway. So, we want you to remain aware. There's still a chance that this line might get east of 69 and kind of weaken slightly, but we still want you to remain aware of all of that. So here's Henrietta, Old Mulgee southward to Dustin, and then that line is strong severe storms. Pawnee, you're behind it, severe threat's over. Stillwater behind it, severe threat is over. Edmond, Oklahoma City, it's over. If you have travel plans today from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, don't leave right now. My advice, let's wait. Let this line clear the 44 corridor here. It's not going to take that long for that to happen, and then you'll be able to jump on the highway and take off. So to set the stage, we do not have any tornado circulations that we can see right now. We still have this storm cell that's had a persistent broad rotation. Let's zoom in there, Stephen. Take a look at the far northern areas into southern Kansas. It's been right in through here. That's had a little bit, you can kind of almost still see it. It's not quite as pronounced, but that is a mesocyclone right in through this area. It's just not tight enough to trigger any kind of tornado warning at this point. This is the storm cell that did trigger tornado warnings as it moved through the Osage County vicinity. So this is Coffeyville, South Coffeyville, Edna, Altamont area. You can see the time on the screen. We're at 6:06 and Maldea at 6:20, Mound Valley 6:27, Altamont at 6:32. Bartley, Kansas. This is on the northern side of the Kansas State line area. That is a severe thunderstorm polygon. And so that would be for that severe storm. It's not a tornado warning, even though we know that some communities have sounded their sirens across southern Kansas because of this history of this cell. But right now, this is just a very severe storm that has the potential for that 60 to 65 mile per hour wind. I don't know if we can talk to Bob a little bit. He's close to that storm cell right now. Bob, I know you're just a little behind it, but let's check out to see what the wind field is like now on the backside of that storm system. Give us your location and your experience right now, Bob. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm up at Copan on Highway 75. We still got heavy rain, winds have died down a little bit. I think the gusts are running about 25, which indicates we're getting a little bit behind it. But I'm pretty certain back when this thing was west of 99 and south of 60 and north of Pahuska, there's going to be tornado damage on it from the cone. Back to you, Alan.
Yeah, and Bob, we can kind of tell that from the product on the radar, the correlation product that was lofting some debris in the air as that moved through those areas. So at first light, folks will go out and usually survey their property. We always encourage you to wait to do that, obviously. Could have some power lines down, some power issues. Maybe we can check that power grid here in just a little bit to kind of see what it's looking like. But yeah, this is an intense line of storm activity that continues basically from Coffeyville, Kansas, all the way back down to Bartlesville, to Oshaleta and west of Tulsa, and then moving to the east. It has slowed down a little bit in the southern areas. We'll go down to the south in just a second, but severe thunderstorm warnings, you see that polygon, that's including now Craig County, portions of the Nowata County area, almost all of it, but northwestern sections of Craig County, and then Rogers County, near and just west of Claremore to Catoosa. So Claremore not in the warning yet, but the anticipation is this line will probably stay severe as it moves into it. So you're about 45 minutes away from that also moving to the east. But this is a fairly significant portion of the storm. Stephen, let's zoom in here and take a look, especially right in through here. Flip that over to velocity data if we can. And we want to take a look. And by the way, Travis Meyer's in the weather office this morning. We're going to check in with Travis here in just a second. This is an area that we're watching some pretty strong winds around the Skytook Lake area. Let's pixel query that. It's at 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. So again, that can cause some issues from Skytook to the Hominy area, Cleveland, Lake Keystone. I mean, these are strong, strong winds. Keystone area, Sperry. The wind's maybe not quite as strong right now in that area, but it's moving in your direction. So severe thunderstorm gusts are underway here from the Lake Skytook area back down to Keystone Lake. We don't see any velocity that would indicate maybe a tornado at this point, but we still watch. I mean, there's just a little bit of that trying to do some interesting things here right along Highway 20 back and across the portions of the Skytook Lake area. So that would be on 20 to the Skytook Lake area, Avant, the Ramona vicinity. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. That is underway. So we want you to remain aware, and this could cause some pretty stout winds right now as that moves across the area. Let's do this. Let's kind of reset the stage, put the velocity off and put the reflectivity on. We'll pull that all the way back up, and we'll get ready to track this line very quickly. Let's head down to the south, and then Travis is going to jump in here and get some information as well. Let's go down to I-40, friends and neighbors, Pittsburgh County, the Hughes County area, Old Mulgee, Henrietta, McIntosh County. This is a severe portion of the line. It is moving eastward. So this is going to be from Holdenville, Wewoka, and Seminole. Now, slightly west of our immediate area, but it is quite strong and severe. So up next would be places like Okemah. We think Henrietta eventually is going to have to deal with this line of severe storms. Old Mulgee as well back to Welty. A lot of lightning embedded with this cloud to ground lightning, heavy downpours and winds. Again, the polygon area that's shaded there can cause those 50 and 60 mile per hour winds. So that is a severe storm. It will be moving from the west to the east and could impact all of this area. Right now it's Ada, Pontotoc County, Bing, Asher, Pawnee, Shawnee, the Pottawatomie County vicinity, and again moving to the east. So there's that line of storm activity that is severe. It's the severe thunderstorm warning. Travis, it continues all the way along that line. So folks, it's moving generally to the east pretty rapidly. The cells may individually kind of track to the north and east. And so we'll get Travis in here in just a second. Stephen, if you want to, give us an update on that track and maybe even talk to Brandon here very quickly to see what he's doing with that line of storm activity that is across the far western sections right now. So Brandon, if you can, go ahead and give us an update. That line of storm activity is about to enter your area. It looks like it's got potential for some 50 and 60 mile per hour winds. Tell everybody where you're located and what you're experiencing right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Alan. So we just left the Prue exit off of Highway 412. We're moving east. I think that this is what's going on here along the edge. On the Prue exit, we've got about 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts. That's the top end of the speeds we've seen so far. We're just now getting into some very light rain. The lightning, the cloud-to-ground lightning is very intense with this particular part of the storm. But we're going to move east to try to stay out of so we can get a good advantage point. Things decided to do something squirrely. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it, Brandon. And Alan's going to take just a quick break here and get reorganized. Wanted to point out as well, just because the tornado watch is in effect at this time, we do want you guys to be advised that as it's coming into Tulsa, obviously schools, kids, a lot of folks are trying to get to work. So there's a lot of things happening pretty quick. And if you are planning on leaving here in just a few moments, that does indicate that we are going to have to make sure that you're aware that these storms are going to be producing severe weather. And so that includes winds in excess of 60 miles an hour, and there will be some hail in some of these. So again, that's going to slow down probably your process this morning. And Alan's been mentioning that, Stephen's mentioned it as we start to see the timeline coming into Tulsa. That's going to cause traffic problems and all that. So we will have that information. But biggest thing is that we do have the tornado watch in effect. And because of that, there are areas in which circulations are going to be occurring. And that's why we're going to stay on the air for a while here to make sure that if anything gets going, we'll know about it real quick. And we're seeing a little bit of that right now. Some of the heaviest thunderstorms are on the north and west sides of Tulsa at this point. We do have an active severe thunderstorm warning in effect for our area. And as these continue to track to the east, Alan mentioned this as well, that this extends all the way back to the south and to the west. So this is going to be a big line that's going to affect a lot of folks. So that's why we want to make sure that if you are going to be traveling here or getting out to get to school or get the kids to school, you do have to be aware of the timeline for that. And we'll have that information as well coming up in a moment. Wanted to point out in Bartlesville right now, we do have heavy thunderstorms in Bartlesville as that line is moving across the areas to the north, and that includes up around Coffeyville. All these storms are severe at this time. That means winds of 60 miles an hour. That also means there's going to be pockets of hail associated with that. And in fact, I don't know if the control room can do it, but if you can pull up the Bartlesville camera for a minute. I just set that up and we'll just look at that. The line of thunderstorms coming into the area. And so with that line of thunderstorms rolling in at this point into Bartlesville, you're going to be getting 60, probably 50, maybe up to 60 mile an hour winds. Bob is intersecting that right now and getting really close. Bob, if you're there, could you give us an update as you're coming into Bartlesville area, what you're getting at this moment?
Yeah, I'm in Dewey right now. You could see the sheets of rain blowing across the parking lot here. I'm getting gusts to about 25 miles an hour right now, and this leading edge is just coming into Dewey here. So back to you, Travis.
All right, I appreciate it. And so this is what the line is going to do. It's also going to cause a lot of headaches for a lot of folks and to the north. And you can see where we're at with this around the Dewey area. That has moved already through Bartlesville with strongest winds now well east of Bartlesville. Also up around Coffeyville. That's where, again, this line of thunderstorms. And there is a bit of a circulation still going on with this. This is the one that Stephen and Alan were watching. And so right along the leading edge is just now on the north and east sides of Coffeyville. So if you are in those areas, you're going to be getting winds of 50, 60 miles an hour on that leading edge. There's some small hail associated with that. So as that tracks off to the north and to the east, that'll be covering areas to the further to the east, obviously into eastern Montgomery County and then into Labette County. So with this line of thunderstorms now, a few small areas of circulations are noted. Vaughn is coming in right now just to the right along that leading edge. Brandon's getting repositioned a little bit, but Vaughn, if you would give us an update as you're right along that leading edge coming into the You there, Vaughn? Go ahead one more time. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you
Yeah,
are.
I'm here, Travis.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just coming into Sand Springs here. And that area, that's very strong, severe thunderstorms just to the north of me. That area that we've kind of been looking at that could have a little circulation. I was watching that all the way from back at Yale. So that it definitely had a lowering with it when I saw it. It is now up to my north. Haven't been able to confirm anything, any kind of rotation with it, but very dangerous storm, Travis, but we're going to keep tracking it. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Yes, anything along this leading edge is going to have a chance of causing a small spin up. We don't have any we have just a couple areas we are watching, and we're kind of keeping an eye on areas obviously just northeast of Coffeyville, Kansas, and then extending back down along that line. So unfortunately, that's going to be the case here for the next hour or two. So thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate that. Again, with the guys repositioning, we are looking at storms that are going to be moving in the metro area. Alan is also have the latest on the storm track, so you have an idea of what to expect this morning as you're trying to get everything rolling. Alan?
Yeah, they're moving in, Travis, getting closer to the metro. So again, this is into the very beginning part of the commute this morning. Strong storms. These are severe. Sky took back down to the west of Tulsa, Manford, back to Olive and Bristow. They're moving to the east. It slowed down just a little bit at about maybe 50 miles an hour. So this is kind of a broad track that I have for you right now. So we're at 616 right now. Sand Springs, I mean, basically it's on top of that leading edge. The heavier storm will still be about 5 minutes away. Tulsa, we're about 15 minutes away from some of this to get into the middle part of the city of Tulsa. So it's already in western Tulsa County. Glenpool at about 6:30 to 6:45. You see that last update on the screen. I mean, the individual cells are moving northeast. The line itself is moving east. Claremore at 6:50, almost 7 o'clock, and Broken Arrow, Travis, it's going to be at about 6:50, maybe 6:51. So that would be the estimated time of arrival for that portion of the line, which is kind of into the heart of the metro, or will be into the heart of the metro. Areas to the south, just to make sure everybody knows, western Okmulgee County, you're included in a severe thunderstorm warning there because of that line of storm activity that's back to the west near Bristow and Stroud and Welty. And then Sapulpa, you are also included in a severe thunderstorm warning. So is Jinx and Glenpool at this moment, Trav.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. Let's go up to Coffeyville for a minute, and just to the east of Coffeyville. Still concerned for you guys of what's going on up in this area, just because as that's moving into Labette County, there is a circulation feature that's not very pronounced, but there are some very strong winds right along this. So again, if you're moving around the Altamont area and getting up and rolling this morning at Edna, these winds are expected to be around 60 miles an hour. We do have an active severe thunderstorm warning for you. Now, most of the areas around Montgomery County, this storm system has moved through your area, but this is the same one we just talked about a minute ago, but that's moving into Labette County, and embedded in that is going to be some strong gusty winds and the potential again for not only severe winds but also some hail. And so Alan's showing us right now the core of that at this particular moment. We'll be taking it right through the Altamont area here, coming up at 6:28. We're at 6:17, coming up on 6:18, and then that goes on over to around the Hogue and Sherman areas around 6:45. So just be aware that this storm is pretty potent still. Same one caused a tornado earlier, and we anticipate that this will still be quite intense as it continues to move through Labette County. Along this leading edge, there's still circulation features in a few areas. Brandon's repositioning, Vaughn's still along that leading edge, and then also Allen's a little bit further to the south, and that's Alan Hancock, not our Mr. Crone, who's here in the station. But Alan, if you would, give us an update at this point from Creek County, and what are you witnessing at this moment? It looks like you're right along the leading edge.
Yes, sir. Our last wind sampling is about 45 miles an hour. We had visibility of about 30 feet there for a little bit. That rain was coming down incredibly hard. Getting us some small hail, but right now trying to keep a close eye on the sky. Like you said, we're on that leading edge of the heaviest part of this storm right now. We'll keep a close eye on it.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Also, just back to the north again, around the Avant area, we're looking at a small area that we're concerned with. So this is from Skiatook and then extending back to from Avant and then moving into Ramona. This is where some strong winds are located again. And notice this is getting very close in this area. This has been pushing outward, so we're going to get some strong damaging winds right in here, and some. It'll be kind of scary looking clouds. We'll put it that way. So if you see lightning flashes and you see some low clouds, this is going to be along that leading edge that's moving into Tulsa or southern Washington County, just in the northern Tulsa County area. So we're just from Avant to around the Ramona area. So it's embedded in this. And so you could see that, and that's what we're most concerned with in these types of situations, where along this leading edge, we're going to have the potential for something spinning. So that's on the verge of trying to do something right in here. So if you are any place along the lines that go from Talala and then extending all the way to Allouie and all the way down to, or up to Chelsea, that is going to be rapidly moving to the east across southern Washington County, northern Rogers County, southern portions of Nowata County. So this is a part of the storm that we're watching closely. And again, the circulation just east of Avant and just making some headway now into Washington County, and that's a little bit of a concern at this particular moment. And also right along that edge, Bob, I'm going to go to you before we leave Bartlesville. Quick update out of Bartlesville. Everything turned out okay there so far?
Hey, Travis, I'm caught between the storm cells right now, so I'm light rain. But I'm on the north end of Bartlesville, and everything seems pretty good right now. So back to you.
All right. So if you're in Bartlesville area, that storm, once that storm clears, everything's good. In advance of it, though, unfortunately, it's kind of looking like for a needle in a haystack, because it's kind of hard to do, because we have continuation of several different eddies or flows that are right along the leading edge that we're going to have to keep track of. And again, not scaring anybody in Ramona or Vera, but we do want you just to be advised that that's going to be some strong winds and some scary looking clouds in your area for a little bit, as well well as along that leading edge. So that's what we're looking at. Also, Alan has a new update on the storm track timeline for what to expect with these storms as they're coming into Tulsa, because obviously a lot of kids trying to get ready to go to school. Al, what do you have?
Okay, yeah, severe thunderstorm warning continues now. This is 6:20 right now. Technically, part of this is going to go to 6:30. It will be extended through this area. So if you're trying to get kids out, most kids are not up right now at 6:20, but in the next 35, 45 minutes, that will be the case. So that severe thunderstorm warning that you can see there, and that line goes from Bartlesville to the Skytook area back down to Tulsa. And then because of its elongation, basically from the southwest to the north and east, the southern part of the line has slowed down just a little bit. So it'll take a little bit longer to kind of clear that entire area there. So we'll take and just kind of do a fast little track here from northern Tulsa County back down into the southern sections of Osage County, and then also into the Creek County area. I think it's slowed down just a little bit. Let's take it about 45 miles per hour to the east, and you can see the estimated time of arrival there that is on the side of the screen for you. This is kind of the short-term track. You can see Sapulpa's at 6:26, Delaware at 6:27, Tulsa at about 6:30. If we extend this a little bit longer, Oologah is 6:35, and the ORU area on the east side of town would be at a 6:30 at 6:40. And then this will continue on as well, we think, going to the east. For example, let's kind of track this all the way to Claremore, even though technically right now, Trav, the Claremore City is not included in a severe thunderstorm warning, but may be soon. So Claremore, ETA would be at about 6:50, maybe 7 o'clock. That's when a lot of kids are trying to get on the bus, is that I call it kind of the golden bus hour there, about 7 o'clock in the morning, from 7 until about 8:15, 8:20. The good news, I think a lot of this is going to be east of Tulsa pretty fast, but if you're watching east of town around that 7 o'clock hour, it is still going to be problematic, and that would, be an issue for kids on buses and bus administrators, some of those areas. And to be clear, these are severe thunderstorms right now, the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds, some hail, but as Travis has mentioned, there's some embedded circulation, and that's why we still have, obviously, a tornado watch that is underway. The environment is pretty wound up this morning. I mean, you step outside, you can kind of tell. Travis, yesterday was 42, 43 degrees.
Freezing.
Yeah,
It was
43.
cold with that wind.
And a dew point at 41, 42. And this morning you step outside and it's definitely springtime in Oklahoma.
All right. Hey, thanks, Al. And again, with the line of thunderstorms continuing, everything is basically severe along this entire line. And so as it comes into your area, gusty winds, heavy rain. Fortunately, we do not have the tornado warnings right now, but we do continue with some circulation features. As we mentioned, up to the areas into Labette County still is a concern. And then go to, what was it? Brandon. Okay, Brandon, he's on the west side of town right now. Brandon, what do you have?
Yeah, good morning, Travis. So we're here at the Go Creek Expressway and Highway 412 looking west. You can see that in our shot. We're going to pan just a little bit. Right there, you can see that's the leading edge of that. We're starting to get some light precipitation, some light rain right now. The lightning is very concentrated in that general direction that you see. You can kind of see that area. It's a little bit of a lowering area that we need to watch. That's why we're up here on this little hilltop. Got very good eyes on it, and no hail. And the wind's probably about, I'd say, just to 40. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, that'll be some low-level clouds coming in, some scary-looking clouds. We're going to go back up to Ramona for a minute. That still is very concerning for you guys. Southern Washington County, if you're in that area, we'd want you to really be paying attention to what's going on here. And the reason that is because it's just along its edge. So there's a little bit of a tight couplet coming on 75 right now. And so that's just near the Ramona area. So in fact, zoom in a little bit more if you would. Just take us all the way into city streets. And then what we're looking at right this moment is that has tightened up just a tad bit. So you're going to get some strong winds. You're going to have strong winds out of the south, 30, probably gusting to 40 miles an hour. Then all of a sudden you're going to get blasted with some very strong winds coming in from out of the west, southwest or so. So again, this is trying to start to spin up just a little bit. So what we want you to do is if you're in the Ramona area, we want to make sure that you, and it's just right over town right now. It's not tight enough to really be super concerned, but you're going to have a lot of weaving and wobbling going on, we could say, for this particular cell. So just be advised for right now, over 75, that's moving to the east-northeast at this point. So again, a severe thunderstorm that is a bit concerning, and it's embedded in rain and thunder and lightning, and you can't see it until it just basically hits you. Here's the one Brandon was talking about that's moving in on the west side of town now. So this is pretty much, we have that line from Skytook and then going right on down through the Sand Springs area. In Sand Springs, you guys are going to get gusty winds as well. Remember, severe thunderstorm warning mornings. They're 58 miles an hour, which I just say generally right near 60 miles per hour minimum. And so there will be some strong gusty winds flipping and flopping again for the areas in West Tulsa as that continues to move to the east. Vaughn has already moved to the east and getting another perspective on the east side of town. Brandon, though, is right in the midst of some of that. And then the heavy rains are showing up, and a little bit of hail is possible in the pretty much our panhandle, the west side of Tulsa. And so you see that magenta color. That is usually associated with some pea-size hail. Not super large right now. Nobody's complaining. And as that comes into town, at this point, you can see it coming in from the west. This is looking live shot now from our downtown. And it's going to be a wall of water, Brandon was mentioning, that's headed our direction. And then further to the south, we continue to see some moderate to heavy thunderstorms and a few severe storms as well. So from Creek County and then extending back down, getting ready to move into western Okfuskee County. So Alan's in Bristow right now. Alan, I don't know if it looks like your shot's good, but can you give me an update on what's going on there in Bristow?
Yeah, Travis, like you said, we're in Bristow right now taking a look at what we got going on. Trying to stay out in front of the leading edge of this storm. Like I said, they've been moving pretty quickly. Right now, the rain subsided quite a bit, so I'd consider it light rain. The hail has gone away for now, so not a whole lot else to report right now, fortunately, from this community of Bristow.
All right, good. And along with that line of thunderstorms, we continue to see the heavy rains, as we mentioned, and the strong winds, but that's just moving in right now, literally on Bristow. We don't have anything else of real concern. Southwest area, just to the west of pretty much Welty and southwest of Bristow, still keeping an eye on that area. And the only other areas right now in Skytook and on the north and east sides of Skytook up to around Ramona. That's going to be some pretty jumping around winds. And we have the severe thunderstorm warning till 6:30 in the morning. And then you can see where Brandon is located. So, and then right up from Skytook and then extending through southern Washington County. So that system now is pushing past pretty much just past Ramona. So we have another cell near Nowata, but down around the Skytook area, and I'll probably have you do, if you would, Storm Track 2 on the Skytook one. That one has some winds that look like they're around 50 to 60 miles an hour that's moving across that area. And so that's what we're concerned with right now with this small area in here that could be causing problems in the north sides of town. And if you have to drive through this, remember, allow yourself extra time. If you don't have to drive through it, you're going to be a lot happier. So if you're going to just kind of get out earlier or maybe later, then you don't have a chance of hydroplaning and having total issues, which is pretty scary, especially if you have some winds 50, 60 miles an hour. Alan has a look at the latest on the Storm Track, Al.
Yeah, so we're going to track not just that part, but just a little bit more around and surrounding that as we kind of take a look at the track here. So that's going to be this storm cell that's located, as Travis mentioned, around the Skytook area back to Sperry. You can see that track that I've drawn actually goes up into the Nowata County vicinity as well. So all along that leading edge from Nowata south to west of Oologah, near the Skytook area, Sperry, and for the northern areas of Tulsa County. That's kind of the meatier part of the line right now. It's moving east. I think it's slowed down just a little bit. Maybe 45, maybe 50 miles per hour, and that might be generous at this point. So we're at 6:30 right now. Owasso would be at 6:40, Lake Oologah 6:42, and Centralia at about 7 o'clock, Claremore at 7:03. And you can now see, just issued, would be a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going to extend past that line there. This is going to include new locations. This will include portions of Claremore, Rogers County now, Choteau, Pryor, part of Adair, Veneta, the Craig County vicinity. So this is going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning that's going to go until at least 7:15 this morning. We're at 6:30 currently. So that is that line of storm activity. If you have been with us since early this morning, we've had one tornado warning, and we think we had a tornado on the ground at one point in northern Osage County around the 5:15 time period. We do not have any tornado circulations that we have right now that are underway, but we do have some winds that could prompt us some 60-mile-per-hour winds, some wind damage, and the potential for some hail as well. We've got our trackers out that are all along this line from Parsons to Coffeyville to Nowata, and then from Skytook in the Sperry area. Our concern this morning is we do have a tornado watch that's underway, which means conditions are favorable for tornadoes in and close to the area. No major circulations at this point, but we're still watching. Then Bristow, Creek County back down to the south around the Boley area, back into central Oklahoma. That line of storm activity has slowed down just a little bit there. You know, interesting, here's some inside baseball, is that early this morning, the model data was indicating that once this kind of got east of Highway 69, that it might move into an atmosphere that might be not as conducive to continued severe storms. So we're going to see if that will hold here. The severe thunderstorm warning does include the Ottawa vicinity area and Veneta and Adair and Pryor Shodo, but the atmosphere to the east is just a little different right now than it is to the west, and that continues back down ahead of this other line segment as well. So we don't want to let our guard down. We do have a tornado watch that includes all of the area, but right now, Travis, I would say these storms are kind of almost just steady state. Really haven't come up that much, really haven't gone down that much, just kind of steady state right now moving east.
Okay, and nobody's going to complain about that because the last thing we want to do is see more tornadoes. But I do want to go up briefly to Labette County if we can, just northeast of Coffeyville. And for you guys who are up in that area, it's still a very potent storm. This was a storm that produced a tornado when Al and Stephen were covering it in northern Osage County. And so this, as it continues to move to the northeast, circulation, there's some strong winds still right in this area. So just north of Edna and around Altamont at this point. So that is still showing up where we do think that this is a very strong windy environment and most likely over 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We're looking way up into the thunderstorm itself, but that's the cue or the area in which we're concerned with. So again, if you're in that area and you're watching, know that that's a very potent storm, and there's going to be some wind potential of over 60 miles an hour with that, and that's going to lead back down to the south and to the west, Bob. And then let's come down along the line a little bit. Heavy rains around Coffeyville, and then also Bob now east on Highway 60, just east of Bartlesville. He's in some heavy rain. Bob, what do you have for us?
Boy, we're getting blown around. Visibility up here right now in heavy rain is maybe eighth of a mile. I'm starting to pick up hail. I can't even tell what size the hail is because it's raining so hard. But from the sound of it, I'm going to say we're getting peated down-size hail, and the rains are getting blown. You look at the wind blowing across the road, you think, oh, it's got to be 50 miles an hour, but that wind's only going about 15 or 20 when I stop. Back to you, Travis.
All right. So again, for everyone along this line, and that's a perfect example what Bob is describing to us, is how much wind is associated with this as it's blowing in. So we still have very strong winds also down around, we'll look at velocity data too around from Nowata and then back south. If we could stay in tight, and then let's get, and let's go right along this leading edge. So from where Bob is, this is the area where the strongest winds are located coming through. So he's getting whipped around, and so that's part of it right now with the wind shear and some hail. And then let's go back south along this leading edge and just stay close in, and then looking around Ramona. So once again, we have a potential hail core near Ramona. Strong winds right now also pulling out of Washington County. And you see what's going on southeast of Ramona now. And so we're watching this jagged area. So that's coming in already past Sperry, Skytook. So if you can wait a little bit so you don't have to run into this, really a good idea. Coming in on Collinsville right now, hitting downtown literally as we speak. So we might, I don't even know what, you want to see what T5 looks like. It's probably inundated, I would imagine, at this moment. Not too awful bad. We're getting the rain, the thunder, the lightning, the wind. Even the camera, which is firmly set on there, is moving a little bit, which means we should have some 40, 45 mile an hour winds at the minimum. So again, if you're right now getting ready to move and drive, just be advised for that. Also, back into the radar itself and where the strongest winds are located, that's where you can see it from north sides of town, from Lake Eola, Turley area, then that curves back into the downtown area and then goes back to the south. So these are the types of things that we'll be watching here for just a little bit longer, make sure nothing gets carried away. And as Alan said, if everything works as planned here, before too long, that's going to run into a little bit, we'll call a little bit more stable environment, so we won't be as concerned for a spin up like a tornado. But we're having some strong winds again, not too far off the surface, Alan pointing out for us. So that is part of the system that's in northern Tulsa at this point. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, not a good time to be driving. And it's easy to hydroplane, especially with taller, broader vehicles. And then back down the south, we do have thunderstorms that are going on. Allen's just in advance of that around the Bristow area. Sequoia is going to be picking up our storms that are coming in out of Okfuskee County. Still concerned a little bit with some of the storm system down here because it is getting a full blast of strong south winds flowing into this. So this is a severe thunderstorm as well. So even though we haven't talked about you guys too much, just know that that's going to be a line of strong thunderstorms with some damaging wind potential. and if you're around the Welty area as well, because this is in a position that is a little bit more likely to cause some problems. So Sequoia is there, and we will. Hey, Sequoia, in fact, I'm going to just ask you real quick, what do you have for winds? What's going on? What do you see at this point?
Right now, winds are out of the south about gusting to probably 23, 24 miles an hour. That was measured. I have lightning to the west. We'll keep an eye on it. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. So again, that storm's still coming in quite a ways away from him, but getting closer. Alan continues to watch what's going on with the storms, but we do have very strong winds now on the north side of Tulsa, and that is running around Turley. And Lake Yohola right now, you're getting blasted with really strong winds. And this is a little couplet thing we don't like to see too often right in here. So again, if you're on the north side and just to the west of Owasso or around Owasso, just be aware this is a very powerful wind event going on now, we think right near surface. And we do think that we'll probably have at least 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Could be some power outages. Remember, we're always streaming. But this is a target zone that we want you to know. This is Highway 75, just on the north side, and then that's not around 100, about really anywhere from 56th Street and then going on up to 86th Street. So again, from around the Turley area, anytime we see this, that's some strong winds coming in, and then that also means it could try to spin up a little bit. And so we don't even like seeing this little bit of event. So this east of Turley now, and if you're around the Owasso area, we do want you just to be very aware of what's happening with this, because this has now moved across 75, now almost to Tulsa International Airport, and then you can see it's extending now just to the west of Owasso, so you could get some wind damage out of this, very likely, or at least 60-mile-an-hour plus winds. So that's something of concern. Alan, you want to give us a storm track and timeline on this, because this is starting to pick up and move and developing a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Gusty winds there, very strong. We think at least 60-mile-per-hour winds. And when you're seeing some of those data that were pixel creating on the radar, that is slightly above the surface. So it's not necessarily all the way down there, but it is pretty stout. That portion of the line, again, it goes all the way basically from southern Washington County into the northern Tulsa County vicinity, and then also right across the downtown area. So this is kind of the short-term track. You can see Catoosa at 646, and we're at 638 right now. The Fair Oaks area at 650. And then we'll continue on through, try to change a little bit of this track data here to show you what it would be like maybe a little further down the line as we get to maybe Inola after 7 o'clock in the morning, prior at 7:16, Adair at 7:16, Shoto at 7:16. So it's moving pretty fast right now, but it does have the potential. I think if you're in Owasso, you're going to have some pretty strong winds here that are coming up very, very fast. Let me zoom in here and take a look. So we'll go to that shot from Owasso in just a second here, but you can see from Owasso itself that you got some winds now that are just a little bit south-southwest of town on 76th Street and between 86th and 76th Street. Those winds are probably 60 miles an hour, and they're moving eastbound pretty fast here. So I want you to remain aware if you are in the Owasso area right now that we do have those strong winds that are moving in that direction. So Travis, moving to the east now at about 40 to 50. That's not a tornado warning, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning, and lots of wind coming through or near the Owasso area right now.
All right. Hey, thanks, Al. Yes, and so we're going to be watching that. Again, Owasso area, be advised, because this is probably the biggest. We don't like this when this happens. We do have the Owasso camera that we'll show you here in just a second. So this will, again, so this is targeting an area that is pretty much from 116th down to about 56 with those winds. And can we pull in, or we're routing it in, okay. And so this is still a couplet that is not good. So this is looking live from our first bank of Owasso. This is looking due west into the storm, and this is going to be the winds that are going to be coming in with this line, so it's going to be a little bit hard to see. We have quite a bit of lightning showing up with this, and as that hits, we're going to be watching what happens. So this is just west of Owasso at this moment with strong winds, and we do anticipate that will be in excess, more than likely, of 60 miles per hour. We're waiting to watch the area. I see the National Weather Service also saying now they're watching this area around just west of Owasso. So if you are in Owasso, just be aware, and we're going to be watching They're going to issue tornado warning? Okay. So we do have tornado warning on that cell. That's what we were thinking. So this is where we want you to make sure it's already in and on the northwest sides of Owasso. And so this circulation feature going on right through the areas on the north and west side of town. So again, this is moving right in an area that'll take it across the central and northern side. So this is the couplet with the tornado. And so that is continuing to move toward Highway 20. And we're going to be looking at the storm track. And I'm going to have you zoom in even a little bit more so we can get City Street so we can tell the folks about it. And then hopefully we can get to live radar too. And then also so this is North Mingo. This was just a moment ago. This is the couplet that we're concerned with. So this is now just east. And so that is moving to the east. So it's over 169 right now. So this was just a moment ago. That's over 169. That is moving east. That's going to be taking it as well over Highway 20. We want you to move to a place of safety right now, just to be sure, because these winds picked up. We thought this is a possibility, and along these types of lines, that's exactly what happens. So this is where a concern is right now. 96th Street North, it just hammered. This is Owasso now, so it's just come on in. You can see Alan's moved camera. But if you are in Owasso at this moment, we want you to move to a place of safety, especially if you're on the northern half, anywhere from pretty much 56th Street North. Is the way we'll show it. So this is tightened up, and that is continuing to track off to the east. So if you are in this area, and you saw that just that update right there. So now we have it with a possibility of a tornado just moving across 169. So, and there is debris now. So we think we have a tornado. And so unfortunately, how fast this happens, this is why. Again, so move to a place of safety. Any place from 86th Street North, then on up to Highway 20. You got to move to a place of safety, so we're starting to see debris.
Vaughn can see, he's Vaughn south, but Vaughn says he can see the lowering.
You can see the lowering or debris?
The lowering.
Lowering? Okay. I thought you said debris, so I even made it worse there for a second. We'll look at CC's too here in just a second. But again, from this area, this will track. This is a larger track Alan's put together for us. And so you can see where this will most likely go. So if you're in the areas from Limestone, maybe it will extend till Claremore. We're just concerned right now with what's going on in Owasso. But this will give you an idea if you're in advance of that. So the couplet is now on the northeast sides of Owasso and moving to the northeast. And you can see it's moving at a very rapid clip. So that couplet has tightened up dramatically. And so that's what we're seeing at this moment. So that's going to be right across 169 at this point. And so if you are in this area, extending again, Highway 20 down to at least 76th Street, this is the main zone, 116th to pretty much 76th Street as we start to move off to the east and then head toward Limestone. Buried in there, you would never know that there was something weird going on just when you look at radar. But this is where the strongest winds are located, and that's where that is still moving. So again, hopefully it won't turn into a tornado, but there is a chance that it could because of what's going on right at this particular moment. Hey, try a CC just to make sure if you would, and we'll just check on that for a second. So again, that's now off to the east. The circulation feature isn't quite as tight, so you see it's more lined out. And don't want to scare anybody, but now that's over Highway 20, and so 86th Street North, and now pushing past 116th, probably 136th would be a good place to just say, hey, this is where you guys need to be aware of what's going on here. So it's a tornado warning. Well, that doesn't look good. So there might be some debris lofted into the air. So we could have had a spin up of a tornado, unfortunately. So we do think that there is a chance that we did have tornado. This is a sign that there's debris that's been lofted in the air with a possible touchdown of a tornado. So please take your precautions. This is at this point very likely, and you can see what's going on. Let's go zoom in again. Take me and just get city streets and just hold her still for a second. So this is east of pretty much from 116th Street, and that's moving to the east, really close to my kids. So my kids are in this area as well. And so this is moving right on up across Highway 20. And this would be the circulation feature. We do think the potential for a tornado having touched down is very high at this point based on some of the debris that we're seeing that was lofted into the air. So this is moving, again, tracking it just to the east, And this is the center of it right in here, Highway 20, extending down to 96th Street, maybe we'll say 86th Street just to be careful, and then extending back to the north. So if you want to look at what's going on, this is where it's headed, and Alan can have another storm track for us in just a minute. But this is a main concern right now, Highway 20. And if you're extending east of 169 all the way, we'll take it all the way over toward Keatonville, basically, and just on the north side of Keatonville will be the most likely areas where that would be causing concern. So again, we don't have confirmation. We do have the debris signature, at 106th Street North, 169, and so the National Weather Service also confirming that same fact. Now it's moving a little bit further to the east as it continues to track, so it's getting near Dentonville or Keatonville Hill, and as that moves off, so there's a high probability of what's going on right now, tornado. And Alan, if you want to get us a quick storm track or updated storm track, that'd be great.
Yeah, just right there. Got the storm track on its screen for you right now. So folks, along this line, again, you see that red flashing part of the screen, that's an indication because of that product of the radar, the CC, that kind of indicates the potential that it may have kind of lofted some debris in the sky, that this is going to be considered a confirmed tornado. So Claremore on the screen, 6:59. We're at 6:46 right now. Chelsea at 7:22, Pryor at 7:23, and the Adair area at about 7:30. So here we are at 6:46 right now. So that's a pretty good lead time. The circulation, this is the second one of the morning so far. It has been very, very tight where you were looking at it, Travis, just a couple of minutes ago before it actually kind of got that official tornado warning. It's opened up a little bit, but it's still a concern. It could be causing some damage right now as it continues to move to the east.
All right. Hey, thanks, Al. Appreciate that. If you're just joining us, it would be advisable to just try to avoid driving down 169 if you can, just for a little bit here until we're totally cleared out. This has moved off to the east of 169, but unfortunately it's hugging pretty much Highway 20, so right around Keatonville Hill at this particular moment. So if you're in this area, still showing a little bit of indication of that. So we could still have that tornado on the ground near and north. Right along Highway 20. So if you're around this area, that's where we showed debris, and it's still showing lofted into the air. Yeah, and so you'll be able to see it right developing there. So that would have been just near Mingo and 86th to 106th, and then now that's over to around Highway 20, and then you see where it is 108th. Again, this is where it was, so it's still moving to the east. So this is right in this zone, right in here. So this is the circulation feature as it's moving to the east. Brandon is to the south. I don't know if he can even see what's going on because I don't think he has a very good angle on that at this particular moment. But right from Highway 20, Keatonville, as Alan's mentioning, this is moving more east-northeast. They'll be taking it near Claremore at this moment. And we have, Brandon, if you're there, just a real quick update from you. Can you see anything? Have you been able to see any flashes or anything?
Travis, no, we cannot confirm anything. We're still way too far off. We're trying to get up here to the Claremore exit off 20, and we're going to hold there and see if we can see anything. But as we were making our way up, we did not see anything.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Let's go back to radar again and show you what's going on with that. So again, we're tracking with this. Still the couplet is still right in this area. Let's come in on city streets just a little bit more. And so this is crossed now from Limestone, Keatonville. So this is now just a little bit on the north side. So you can see what's going on right in this zone. Strong winds, strong damaging wind potential right in here. And that'll be moving across areas from the north side of Keatonville, anywhere from Keatonville Highway 20. And let's extend that back to the north. Already you see near East Ranch Road, and then that will continue on East 450 Road. So if you're in these areas, this is where it's headed for you guys right at this moment. So this on the northwest sides of Claremore. And if you're in the northwest sides of Claremore, we have that tornado warning officially till 7:15. Active tornado warning, and likely a potential tornado still could be on the ground. The couplet is not super tight, but that has not been the case. Let's come back down to city street level a little bit more so we get a better look at what's going on for the folks. So again, the couplet right now moving on the north and east sides of Highway 20, I should say 169, and on Highway 20. And so that is still wrapped up, still moving to the east. So this is going to be a continuation of the tornado warning. And so So Al, what do you have?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll pull up
tornado
the
wind.
camera and see if we can see between flashes maybe. I've got the camera pointed to where you can see a little bit of that lowering right there. It might be in the very middle part of the screen.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to see. That's the lowering. It's not necessarily a tornado because we've got too much stuff on the camera lens, but you can see it through the flashes there. That's the lowering. So this is the view from Owasso, kind of looking just slightly north-northwest of our location at First Bank in Owasso.
Okay. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. Back to radar, and to give you an idea what's cooking, we're here with this. This is wrapped up again right in here. So this circulation, this is the circulation. So now we're on Highway 20 and just kind of anywhere from Keatonville back to the north and northeast. So as you look at what's going on, there's 4100 East 4100 Road, and then how that would be the core of it right now, moving toward 88. So if you're in this area, you need to be taking cover right now, getting away from those outside windows, walls. And this is, again, this is a struggling kind of situation because you can't really see a whole lot. You'll see the flashes of lightning, and then you'll have this low clouds moving in your direction, and then you get strong winds. So make sure that you're away from those windows and get more into a center part and safe place of your home, just to be safe. From Keatonville and then extending back to 430 Road. Any place in this zone, back on over to Highway 88 now. This is Claremore, so this will be just to the northwest sides of Claremore. Where the concerns are west and northwest, because we're from Keatonville, and then extending all the way up to 430 Road at this moment. So that is the circulation feature associated with it as that's continued to move to the northeast. You want to check out for any dropout on that again on CC, and we'll just...
As I'm doing that, I'm going to pull up the track and give you a track.
Okay, all right. So here's what's going on. So if you are in this area, this gives you a pretty good idea of timing. Alan's just put together for us from 6:58. Then that extends to Bushy Head at 7:12 and Adair at 7:27. Big Cabin, if it holds together, would be 7:35. So this is the area in which we're concerned. There's Verdigris. Here is Claremore. So we're on the north and west sides of Claremore right now with that. And Al, what do you see at this point?
It's too noisy. It's too close to the radar. I can't get a good look at that right now.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So hopefully it's not on the ground right now, but we have confirmed it based on the amount of debris. If you're just joining us, we do have a tornado warning in effect on the north and northeast sides of Tulsa and in central Rogers County, and that will be inclusive of Claremore at this moment, and it's on the north and west sides of Claremore at this particular junction. Other severe thunderstorms are going on, but by far and away this is a priority for us right now, as that will continue to track more in an area that's going to take across Highway 88 here pretty shortly, probably within the next few minutes. So this is a location. This is what we have. It's not quite, it's still, unfortunately, I say it's not quite as intense, but it's still wrapped up very tightly, and there's no doubt that this is going to be capable of producing a tornado. If it doesn't have a tornado right now, very capable of doing that. And so that's why this is the target zone at this particular moment. And you see the city streets to give you an idea as well. And if you're listening to us on the radio, this is on the north and west sides of Claremore at this moment, and on the north sides of town from East Lowry Street. And then that extends back to the north to 430, East 430 Road, and near Highway 88. So this would be the zone where you need to be taking cover right now. Make sure you're moving to a place of safety for winds that could be in excess of 70 or 80 miles an hour, especially right in the core or this kink area, so to speak. And so this is what we are kind of watching how that developed, and we still think it's right there and still going. So now we're at 450 Road. And so East 430 to 450 Road is the core of it, and Highway 88. You need to be taking cover. You need to be in a safe place at this moment for the potential for a tornado. And if not a tornado, strong damaging winds. So we're going to say in excess of 60, potentially around 80 with some of these stronger winds. So this gives us a pretty good idea, that little jag that's going on there, that with the wind flow and the circulation feature is still there, moving to the east-northeast. And do you have another update on the storm track, Al? There it is. All right. And so if you are in the areas, we'll kind of give you an update there so you can see the bigger picture. Claremore, again, coming up in just a few moments. We are officially at 6:54, coming up on 6:55. And that is going to be moving. That's a cell north and west of Claremore. It'll be hitting parts of gusty winds are hitting in the northwest sides of Claremore right now, already through Keatonville, and then that is going to be cored pretty much just about 4 miles to the northwest of downtown Claremore, and that will still be a circulation feature that's pretty tight, and unfortunately that was just tight enough to produce the tornado. So if you are in the areas on 450 Road, especially 450 Road and Highway 88, please be in cover. Get away from the windows and walls just to be on the safe side, because the winds are going to be strong. We know that. There will be some hail, but it's primarily that hail would be more on the north side. And so that couplet remains very intense now, just crossing 88. So it'll be Highway 88 and 450 would be the center of this circulation feature. And tornado warning continues, as Alan's pointing out there, 7:15. So that couplet will move with this, and so if you're in advance of this now, so again, we're on the northern side. Here's Claremore, so it's just for you guys on the north side, and as that continues to move, unfortunately it continues to, it's still a rotating cell, and so with that, we're going to see an off and on chance of a tornado with it, and so that's why we're wanting you to be careful. So again, it's on 88 right now. 450 Road is the most likely area in which we have that. Brandon is getting pretty darn close. Brandon, just give me a quick update. Do you see anything off to your left? You see where Brandon is. What do you see just to your left?
Travis, we have not been able to get still long enough to look. It's moving off so fast. We're going to get up here to the 8-air exit, and I think we'll have a moment to just check it out then.
All right. All right. Holler at me if you can. We do have power poles. Ham radio operations are reporting poles down at 145th East Avenue and Highway 20. Lines are down, and there is debris present, which is a high probability. It is still pretty much a tornado situation that did occur and potentially will continue to occur as that moves to the east, northeast. And so let's go back. Yeah. So here's the circulation. Again, it's not as pronounced on this update, but there's still likelihood that this is going to be a tornado or strong damaging winds. So as I mentioned, over Highway 88 right now, 450 Road, and that is moved off to the east now. And so now it's even east of 88. So now we're at 145th or 4150, South 4150 Road, and just on up to around 430 Road. So this is the couplet right in here. And that's where the biggest concern for the biggest, strongest winds are going to be located as that moves to the northeast. And so we're seeing that with pretty much anywhere from Northeast Robson Road, and then that would go back on up to about 410 Road. So right in here is where we've had the history of having a tornado, and it has obviously touched down and continues to track to the northeast. So if you're now east of 88, so any place west of 88, the tornado risk is gone. If you're in Owasso, it's gone. But this is the biggest risk at this particular moment. It's kind of flattened out a little bit, but it's cycling somewhat. So we're getting a circulation feature that gets stronger, and then it kind of flattens out, and then it gets stronger again. So that's kind of the history of what we're seeing at this particular moment, and that will have a chance of continuing off and on here for a while. I know there's a lot of other things going on after Alan gets a new storm track update. Alan, you can give us that storm track update. We'll also tell some other folks too about a few other storms real quick.
Yeah. We'll take a look at that track here for you, Travis. Again, that is the circulation. We think it's still just about 4 miles north of Claremore, maybe 5 miles north of Claremore. It is not as strong as it was about 15 minutes ago, but it's still prompting a tornado warning, and it's moving northeast at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. So the track on the screen, this is kind of considered the short-term track here. Again, slightly north of Claremore, but Claremore itself, you can see that flashing polygon. You're included in this tornado warning. So Howard at 722, it's 658 right now. 8-air at 736. If the circulation continues together, it could get as far east as the Patton area, but it is obviously it's going through some sort of cycling right now, but that's the track currently that we've got on it. It's still got that tornado warning. I believe that's officially going to go, Travis, until about 7:15, I believe, this morning, and right now we're at 7 o'clock.
All right, appreciate it very much. So again, that tornado warning continues. Al just mentioned too, and I was just looking at some data as well, and so we're confirming that it seems to be a little bit weaker, or at least cycling down right now, but That doesn't mean there isn't something going on right in this same zone. Now it's just north of Claremore near Robson Road and then 450 Road. That would be the most likely area, and extending back south just a little bit to Lowry Road. So this would still be a concern here. And Alan, if we could, I just want to point out down in Creek County just a little bit. We're going to talk to Brandon here. He's going to have a shot for us in a minute. But let's go down to Creek County. And just show you briefly, there's a really intense thunderstorm right now. Allen is in. So we have heavy rain, thunderstorms through Tulsa, southern Tulsa County. Could be some hail south of Bixby right now. The magenta colors give us an indication of excessively heavy rainfall and some hail. Bigger hail cores just south of Bixby. But coming in right now, there's a bit of a circulation. It's trying to develop around the Beggs area. So if you're around Beggs, and then Highway 16, just be aware from Beggs, Allen's on that right now. And so this is just kind of close to doing something. We don't want anything to happen there, but there's some winds of 50 miles per hour, more than likely with that. But if you're in central Okmulgee County, anywhere from pretty much extending from near Okmulgee back on up to Beggs, you do have to be aware of what's happening there. And you can see what Alan's pointing out. Again, that's away from the radar a little bit, but there's a lot of wind, even if there isn't a tornado. All right, back on up to our other area, but again, east of Beggs, extending to 75. Alan, hey, Alan, real quick before we go, just give me a quick update. What do you see, anything on 16 as you look back to the west?
Travis, we're not seeing anything just yet. We've got wind speeds have definitely picked up drastically. We're going to take a quick peek here and see what we can see. Radar-wise, like I said, the winds are picking up. We're starting to feel the challenges from that just now. Maybe a tiny bit of a lowering directly above us. We're going to keep a close eye on it, and we'll report back here in a minute.
Okay. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. All right. So, again, that's tightening up a little bit there. He's at 75. So just be advised for this area. Beggs, down to Okmulgee, Preston. All right. Back to the north. Claremore area on the north side. Still active tornado warning. We have Vaughn and Brandon. They're located within the grasp of being able to see what's going on. So you can see the guys on the left side of the screen. Brandon, can you give me an idea of what you're looking at as you're looking back into that northeast of Claremore right now?
Yeah, Travis, the terrain just makes it so difficult here along the Will Rogers Turnpike. I still don't have eyes on it. We're hoping to do so once we get to the Adair exit. But right now, just some light rain. A lot of lightning that way, Travis, so we'll continue to watch back here.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. So back to radar and closer in for you guys. They're around Claremore area, and then also we'll have a storm track. But the circulation feature does not appear to be nearly what it was a little bit ago. So, I mean, you can breathe a little sigh of relief with us as well on that. And then also circulation now, and you can just see yourself, it is weakened considerably with what's going on compared to what it was just a little bit ago. So if you are, though, in these areas, Al, you want to just tell us a little bit more about the storm track?
Yep, let's take a look here. This is the newest estimated time of arrival on that storm track that we've got. We'll take that full screen if we can here. There it is, and we're still looking at the velocity data, but the reflectivity data, I'll put it on in a second, kind of get your bearings. It's usually what you're looking at here. It's moving east-northeast at about 45-50 miles an hour, so Adair 727, Patton 730, Big Cabin at about 734, if that circulation holds together. And let me tell you, the warning itself, again, we extend those circulations, those tracks based on the movement of the storm, but I want to show you where the warning actually goes. And you can see that red polygon that extends just south of Chelsea to Foyle, to where Brandon's located, just west of Adair. So to be clear here, Big Cabin's not included in a tornado warning. Pryor's not included. Adair's not. But if that storm continues to track in that direction, it's got a chance to move into that region. Right now, the most concern is right along Highway 66, around Foyle, as Travis mentioned, and we'll take a look at that just right now. The circulation is not nearly intense at all. In fact, I think Travis has opened up quite a bit here and has basically kind of occluded a little bit, which is some good news. But it was pretty tight there just to the west of Owasso when that thing started to really spin up. So we've got trackers ahead of it. You got Brandon, that's just outside of the polygon. Vaughn is on 44, and he's just a little bit to the east of Claremore. So Claremore, again, I think, technically you are still in that warning, but right now most of that is located to the northeast of the city of Claremore itself. Very quickly back into the metro, Travis, before we get you back to kind of look really area-wide. These are intense storms that are now in southern Tulsa County. We've not been ignoring the southern Tulsa County area, but we've had that tornado warning that's been moving across the northern areas into Rogers County. But that is some intense thunderstorm activity right now. That is near the Bixby area south, some pretty significant hail just across the county line, and some pretty strong winds, Travis. All right, and that's moving into Glenpool and Bixby, starting to be the Coweta vicinity.
All right. Hey, thanks again. I appreciate that. But if you are in these areas, just be advised. Still watching the circulation down south. But for you guys up to the north, just be aware that, we've been so active with this storm and tornado that it's now a circulation feature not looking. Alan mentioned it. We talked about it. So from Foyle and then back down to Claremore, there's still some strong winds associated with this. So that tornado warning should expire here in just a few moments. I say moments, so probably about 5 to 10 minutes. But that is of concern. And then back down to the south, if we could go, we'll get Alan if he's still with us. Let's go down to Creek County. And Alan, you've been in the middle of this. Quick update from you. What did you get blasted with when that was coming through?
Travis, we had 40-mile-an-hour winds at ground level. Looks like the radar is showing 60 to 80. We got about 40-mile-an-hour gusts through there, but we're repositioning right now, trying to run east. Looks like it's heading right towards the town of Haskell, like you mentioned, South Bixby. So we're going to try and get out a little bit ahead of it and see where we can go.
All right.
I do know that Bixby has delayed the start of school by about an hour or so due to the incoming storms, so they're way ahead of the game.
Yep.
Back to you.
Hey, thanks, Alan. Good information to have. So again, Bixby delaying their start of their school by an hour, which is really a good idea. Velocity data still shows, though, that the wind potential in this area is going to be pretty high. So we do want you to be aware. And as this moves to the east, Alan mentioned this earlier, there's some hope that he'll run into a little bit more stable air, but unfortunately this is all still severe thunderstorm warned storms, tons of rain, lots of wind associated with this, moving across Okmulgee right now to the east toward the Morris area, and then heavy rains all through northern Okmulgee County, southern Tulsa County, and then this whole line is all severe. That goes all the way down to Holdenville. You can see down to Ada. That even looks like a pretty nasty little storm going on around Ada. So that's coming in toward the McAllister, Pittsburgh County. And then we're talking about, as long as you're east of this line, threat of strong winds and hail, and then isolated tornado risk. Our tornado warning has been dropped now for Rogers County. So the tornado warning which had been in effect is dropped. We do have our guys that are in place or going to be in place shortly to take a look and see what damage did occur with this as it was moving to the north, to the east. But you can see where Brandon is located and where this storm is. Bob is up around the Veneta area. Bob, if you have a moment, if you could give me an update from your area, because that's a very intense thunderstorm as well across portions of Craig County. Bob?
Yeah, I finally got a little bit in front of it. It's torrential rain, still quite a bit of lightning, wind gusts between 25 and 35. I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of it, get out to Veneta, and see what we have from there. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. So again, heavy rain, severe thunderstorm warnings in Craig County, and then also extending back down, as we said, through eastern Rogers County now, and then into northwestern Mays County. Lots of wind and rain associated with this. So if you are just going to be out, remember, once you get behind it, the tornado watch is no longer in existence and the threat of severe weather is ending, but this line is very powerful right now, and we're still looking at it coming in around the Veneta area and also really around Chelsea. So these are areas that are picking up rain and hail and wind, so it's a very turbulent atmosphere around the Chelsea area. Notice what's happening here. So this is still part of the concern of that cell that was coming in. Brandon, I don't know, can you get a look back to your northwest now at all on what's going on just near the Chelsea area, just to the left about 3 or 4 miles?
Travis, unfortunately, I somehow managed to miss my exit. So
Okay.
I've got to find a turnaround here.
Oh, no problem. No problem. So we'll be able to connect with you in just a moment. Vaughn's also in that area as well. Hey, Vaughn, if you're with us, can you give us also an update on what you think that you're seeing?
Yeah, it's still a very powerful storm. I am right now. I'm headed back to the south and going to go take 20 over. for this other stuff coming up from the west. But it had very low. I saw it several times. A very low lowering as it was north and east of Claremore. So right here off of 44. So
all right.
Still a bad storm.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Alan. So that's what we're watching. Again, severe line of thunderstorms all the way, going from Kansas and then extending back all the way down to west of McAllister. And so these storms, unfortunately, we still have to watch because any place along these leading edges are going to have the higher probabilities of having a potential for a tornado. So the heaviest rain and thunderstorms are in central and southern Tulsa County right now. We do not have rotation specific to any one storm, so we're not quite as concerned about a tornado right at this second. Again, it continues to evolve and change, and so as it cycles, we have to watch what's going on. The Chelsea storm is still noteworthy of what's happening here because there's still gusty winds associated with this, so it's a very turbulent atmosphere. Brandon is probably pretty close to it anyway, so even though he missed the 8-air exit, he said that's okay because he's going to be closer to it along with Bob, so we still have to keep an eye on what's going on just to the east. Alan, I know you've been watching the storms. What do you have for us on the storm tracks and what's going on?
Yeah, those storms, Travis, are still moving. They slowed down just a little bit, but kind of moving to the east right now at around 40 to 45 miles per hour. So this is the storm cell. Again, if you're on the back side of this, the severe threat is over. If you're on the east side of it, it's still going to go on. The good news is we're at 710. So if you're west of this storm activity, your kids at the bus stop, much better shape than near and east of it. So from 7:15 to about 7:45, 8 o'clock, there's a lot of kids on buses across eastern Oklahoma. So from Craig County, Ottawa County areas to the south, Pryor, Adair, Choteau, these storms are going to push through. You know, early this morning, the fancy radar data and the weather data indicated that maybe it might ease up just a little bit as it went a little further east. That's so far has not been the case. And our friends at the Weather Service indicated there's still very, very strong wind shear associated with this system. We have some moderate instability. So the potential for these to continue to be severe, and we're still watching, obviously, for any of those circulations that could come up fast. But we won't get too far into the weeds here, but there's some pretty strong winds aloft. It doesn't necessarily mean they're all reaching the surface here, but that's why we've got that severe thunderstorm warning that's underway. You can see that polygon that goes all the way from Craig County into the Adair and the Rogers County vicinity, or Mays County, and Pryor and Choteau, and then back to the south with some pretty intense storms that are located right now into the Broken Arrow vicinity in Bixby and Coweta. Again, if you have to be at work at 8 and you're in Bixby or Broken Arrow or Coweta or the Haskell vicinity, again, we just encourage you to hold right now. This is moving east pretty quickly. This will clear the metro soon. And then areas to the south, if you're trying to inbound from Multnomah, I think that's the same thing there. If you'll just hold off for another 15, 20 minutes, most of this is going to be moving east of that really highly popularly traveled corridor of 75. How about the far southern areas? Because we have not really had to mention too much so far from Lake Eufaula south, but we do still have the potential. There's a tornado watch that's underway across portions of the area that will be underway for quite some time. We'll show you that in just a second. But severe thunderstorm warnings do extend into western McIntosh County, including just a hair west of Chakotah, and then over into Henrietta and Shelter, and then also through the Hanna area, and then to the south. There's no warnings right now for Pittsburgh County, but Pittsburgh County, you are included in a tornado watch. So Stephen has lined up the products for us here, and the polygons that are shaded there in yellow, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. And then the green, the counties that are located in green, that is the tornado watch. And technically that watch goes until 10 o'clock this morning. But in all reality, once this line passes your area, on the backside of it, if you give it about 30 or 40 minutes, the winds will come down. The tornado threat is going to be ahead of this line with the thunderstorms that will continue to push on. And you can see it does extend into Arkansas. And by the way, since we have a little time and it's kind of cycling right now, if you have travel plans today into Arkansas or Missouri or Tennessee, Kentucky, the upper Midwest, a significant severe weather event is likely to unfold in those areas. So I just want you to remain aware of that. And if you're trying to fly out, obviously, there's some issues right now because storms are parked right on top of Tulsa International. So we'll zoom back in, take a look at the radar. Let's focus right now on the metro itself, Travis. Heavy thunderstorms, Broken Arrow, Coweta, Bixby, these are considered severe. Haskell to the south. Muskogee, you're outside of that polygon, but not for long. So that storm, if it continues its current path and strength, it would be close to Muskogee in about another 45 to 50 minutes, and then right on over to near Tahlequah here. So that's a quick update. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks, Al. I really appreciate it. Again, our guys are spread out across the area as we continue with our severe weather and potential for tornadoes. We have not received a ton of damage reports from out of Owasso so far. Our guys are in the area. They're looking. We've seen some roof damage, so we have had damage. So we know that there was a potential for the tornado. We're pretty much confirming that at this point. But we're also seeing that the storm that had moved across areas and up to the north and east, Vaughn right now is around the Claremore area. So he's keeping an eye, and he'll have a little bit of information. Allen's down to the south as we're looking at conditions that are still favorable for very, very heavy downpours of rain. Al, if you can you give us another update from your location? What's going on in northern Okmulgee County? We haven't seen any tightening of any circulation, but what do you have?
Yeah, Travis, we haven't seen anything on the radar indicating circulation. The skies look good as well. Moderate rain, winds in the 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts at ground level right now. Like I said earlier, we're trying to reposition and get ahead of it. We got a few cells firing off through the south and west of it that looks a little promising. We'll keep a close eye on it. Be back to you in a moment.
All right. Hey, thanks, Alan. I appreciate it. And as we're talking about that storm now through the Bixby area, and then that extends. So the heavy rains are now just leading edge pretty much from Bixby, and then that is back down to where Allen is located. So right along, in fact, we can look at wind shear for a second and just see what we have for that. And then from Bixby and then extending back south, most of the heavy rains you can see right now, that extends all the way back just east of Beggs. And then this is going to be pushing probably 50, 60 mile an hour winds. And you see how it's even kind of looking almost wrapped around. Even Val is here in Glenpool. So we've got everybody hanging out today. But this is continuing to move to the east. So we're still concerned, though, if you are in northeastern Okmulgee County and if you are in western portions of Muskogee County, this is still an environment that has the potential. Alan just mentioned this a little bit ago, too. He's updating us on the environment which we thought was going to be kind of weakening a little bit because it's or a little bit more stable. Doesn't really indicate that as much as what we were hoping for. And then also we're going to be watching any of these cells that kind of pop up in advance because we're going to have to watch. Some of those will be racing fast to the north. But inside of this, with the stronger winds, we'll see that. Now, Okmulgee right now getting heavy rain, thunderstorm activity. Circulation features are very minimal. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings and still extremely heavy rainfall. If you can, and just kind of hold off, if there's any way you can just be a little bit later for work, because I don't know, Stephen's been so busy running everything. I don't know what traffic looks like right now, but I'm sure it's going to be bogged down, and a lot of folks are going to be kind of frustrated if they have to get to work very quickly, especially now the west side is cleared up. So we're in much better shape at this point for the western part of our viewing area, and also western Tulsa County and northern Tulsa County. That'll allow for roads to be much better. Stephen, was there anything bad there, or is it looking pretty good at this moment? And it's because it's just relatively normal drive times, which is still quite a bit of stuff going on. So just in case you're driving and you're listening to us on 1170, just remember, hydroplaning happens so quickly and accidents can happen even faster. So just make sure that you're just taking it easy till this storm system moves out. So we've got it heavy in Broken Arrow, Bixby, it's getting ready to move out of Glenpool. It's still heavy on the Jinx, especially East Jinx side, and down around Coweta. Claremore still has moderate rain. Vaughn's up there right now. Hey, Vaughn, would you give us an update from out of kind of the east side of Claremore? What do you have for us?
Yeah, I'm on Highway 20 in between Pryor and Claremore. Pretty heavy rain as I got on Highway 20 here headed east, but I'm getting ready to run out of it. But wind-wise, it's not too bad around here, maybe 30 gusts to 30 or 35 right here. So far, so good. We're going going to head on over to 69 and head south. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it very much. And then we have Bob and Brandon, which are a little bit further to the north. And so they're keeping an eye on what's going on a little bit more on the northeast side, which is still concerning in a few of these areas because we're from around just east of Chelsea and west of Big Cabin. We have a little bit of concern in some of those areas. So that's where some of our guys are located now. So if we could go, let's go to Bob, who's in Veneta. Bob, if you would give us an update on what you have, what you're seeing.
Yeah, right now in Veneta, it's pretty quiet. This system is just moving into the area. I'm going to, like you said, watch that area down there between Chelsea and Big Cabin and see if it moves up this direction towards Veneta. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Brandon is also kind of close in that zone, so we do want you to be advised for that. Alan also has put a storm track together for us for this area of thunderstorms that are to the south. Alan, I'll have you do that, and then we'll go back to Brandon and talk to him for a second.
Yeah, we'll take the track now. This is going to be in the southern area. So this is for the metro region from Broken Arrow back down to the south. This is really strong storms are located right now. These are severe, and these are moving to the east. Slow down a little bit, about 40 miles an hour. This is the short-term track, Wagner 728. Okay, 730. Right now we're at 720. Keefton 740 approximately. The Tahlequah area about 8 o'clock, and Lake Tenkiller. That would also be around the 8 o'clock hour. So again, there's another one for you. Okay, at 7:30, Muskogee is pretty close to you right now, 7:28, 7:30. I think it's going to start to move into the western sections of the area. But technically at this point, and again, those are just the tracks for the storm. There's the polygons. Those are the official severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway. But if those storms continue on, those would move into those communities that I just mentioned. Muskogee, Lake Tenkiller, the Tahlequah area, closer to about 8 o'clock. But to be clear, the severe thunderstorm warnings are still back a little bit to the west along that leading edge. It goes all the way back down. Pittsburgh County, you are now included in a severe thunderstorm warning. Remember, a tornado watch is underway, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to go until 8 o'clock. It's 7:20 right now. So storms are severe over Holdenville, Calvin, Non, Wetumpka, Stonewall, Bing, Pontotoc County, some of those areas moving east. And so they're going to move into the western sections of Pittsburgh County for Scipio, back on 270 to Stewart, Arpaler, eventually Haywood, also around the Army base north to McAllister, Old Town, and then back up through the northern areas, Lake Eufaula, Blocker Bridge area, along Town number 9. So that's across the southern areas. Now, Travis, jump back up to the north. Here's Veneta and Welch and also Brandon near the Big Cabin area.
So if we could, let's go to Brandon, who should have a look at what's going on just west of Veneta right now. Brandon, can you see what's happening about 5 miles to the west-southwest of Veneta?
Well, Travis, right now we're looking due northwest here off the Big Cabin exit. You can see in our shot that area right there. It's been kind of coming in and out. I think that might be what was left of the original mezzo, but that's the area that I'm watching all along that leading edge. I don't see anything. Just a real scary looking right now, but nothing too ominous, Travis.
Okay, good, because that's kind of ticked up just a little bit. Let's go back to radar. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you. And then on the radar itself, the circulation, let's do velocities if we could. So just to the west of where you can see where Bob is located and Brandon's got a shot. So this is what he's looking at, this area. So Bob's got a great view as well. So we'll kind of keep those guys separated just a little bit on what's happening there. But just be advised. Also, that's to the north and east. I want to go down Okmulgee County if we could, Al, after this. And so we're still going to watch Veneta, still worth watching, because there's still a lot of action going on. Down right around the east side of Okmulgee now, down around the Morris area, we can get down into some velocities if we can, and just look. This cell that's moved through is just a little bit causing some wind concerns right around the Morris area. So if you're around Morris right now, that system's coming through, and there should be some very strong winds. They're blowing in out of the south, probably 30, 40 miles an hour. Then all of a sudden you're going to get blasted with a west or northwest wind coming in. So even though it's not happening yet, there is a little bit of sinking going on here on Highway 52 with some very strong winds. And it's unfortunately over Morris right now, so you're getting blasted with some winds that are going to be coming from all directions. So don't be surprised what's going on if you're around Morris at this particular moment, east of Okmulgee. If you're around Okmulgee, that line has moved on out. You don't have to worry anything to worry about. If you're east of Okmulgee around Morris, extending on up to Highway 16, this is still very active in this area. Alan was pointing out a storm track just a little bit ago and how that's going to be. But again, this is tightened up a little bit right on the Morris and just northeast sides of Morris at this particular moment. So if you are in those areas, keep an eye on the sky and one on Channel 6. And then we can keep you advised to what's going on. And also if you're up around the Boynton area and then extending north of Boynton. So again, a lot of rangeland, country land over in here, but that is a little bit concerning. Severe weather, still heaviest rains now, moving out of Glenpool, Bixby areas, mainly Broken Arrow, Coweta now with the heaviest of those thunderstorms. Vaughn is near the Pryor area. And then we also have, of course, Bob and Brandon watching the last of what that cell was that was up around Claremore and around Owasso. Still not getting very many reports out of Owasso. Nobody's upset. We're so happy that we don't. We do have... Okay, all right. So we do have some information, though, maybe that not quite as fortunate. Gary is now up into the Owasso area. Gary, if you could... give us an update on what's going on at this moment, if you would. Or is Gary able to talk to us right now?
That's where he is.
Okay. Okay. He's at 145th East Avenue and Highway 20. All right, we can take the shot then if you guys have it at this moment, so we can take a look at what we're seeing this. Again, this will be at 145th East Avenue and right along Highway 20. And the control room would have to take that at this point if you guys... Okay. So anyway, we'll get to, as soon as you have him, just let me know. And we're looking at, again, with the severe weather coming in across a couple areas, we still want you to be aware with this new warning now. That's Cherokee County extending through Muskogee County. So this will continue until we get these storms out of here. So this new warning goes till 8 o'clock. And that's for the warnings inclusive of eastern portion of McIntosh County. And now even pushing through the entire Muskogee County. So the entire Muskogee County has warnings, and most of Cherokee County with this line of thunderstorms coming through. Heavy thunderstorms are still back to the south and to the west as well, but we're going to watch what's happening. Alan is kind of in an area where he's pretty close to what's happening to the southwest. While we're waiting on Gary, let's go to Alan. Alan, give me an idea what you're seeing to your west-southwest, if you would, because that's still a pretty active area right around east of Morris. What do you have in Boynton?
Hey, Travis, we're sitting right here with some heavy rain. Like I said, I am looking south and southwest right now. Not seeing any kind of activity in the skies up above us. Radar shows we got a couple little things that could be a couple cells that look interesting, but nothing visible from this point right here. I'd say moderate rain, winds about 15 to 20 miles an hour, gusting at 30.
All right. Hey, thanks. And appreciate that. You can take your autofocus off, too, because it's focusing on the windshield wipers. And let's take a look also from those storms that you see where Alan is located. Let's look at the velocity data, if we could, Al, and just kind of what's going on Highway 16. So right in here, so this is now east-northeast of Morris. So east of Highway 52. Okay. He does have it. Okay. So just be advised, still east of Morris, northeast of Morris, west-northwest of Boynton. This is picking up just a little bit along Highway 16, just south of Haskell. Alan, you'll have to stay in that area and keep an eye on what's going on, because that's tightening up just a tad bit and don't need anything crazy to happen over here. So that's moving into Muskogee County. Just be advised for some strong winds right now. Not exceptionally bad, but could get worse. We'll put it that way. All right, let's go on up to around Owasso. That's where we're going to find Gary. And Gary's been at 145th East Avenue, Highway 20. Gary, what do you have for us?
Well, Owasso police are blocking off the roadway, 145th East Avenue, between 111th Court North and 116th Street. There are about a half dozen utility poles that are leaning about 45 degrees. So right now they're just keeping traffic from going north and south on 145th in this area.
All right. Hey, Gary, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hopefully you don't find a whole lot of other damage, but that would have been right where that storm went through that we were watching and tracking. So thanks, Gary. Appreciate that. Again, 145th East Avenue, Highway 20. All right, we're going north, and we're going to take a look at Veneta right now, and that's where Bob and Brandon are located. Brandon, go ahead and give us a quick update. What are you seeing?
Okay, Travis. So we've got we're off the Big Cabin exit, looking due north up into that cell of Veneta. There in our shot, just to the left of the rain-free base, there was momentarily a brief funnel. We do have some moderate rotation in there. I'm trying to zoom in. It's been coming in and out. Bob has confirmed it as well, and that's just looking due north from Big Cabin and the Will Rogers Turnpike exit. So let's see if it comes back.
Yeah, that I mean, it could cycle very easily. Alan mentioned that just a few moments ago. Hey, Bob, I'm going to get to you too right now while we got a chance, and then we're going to go to Alan, who's going to give us an update on storm track. Bob, what are you seeing?
Yep. You could look right here. We got a lowering wall cloud area. That's where we had a funnel developing just a minute ago that Brandon was seeing and that I was seeing. It was a well-defined funnel, but didn't go down very far at all. But it does indicate we have rotation occurring right now up here. So we're going to have to watch it. I'm going to continue up Highway 2 and try and keep an eye on this. And there may be actually 2 areas of rotation up here, too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and right now, yeah, you're on the one that's the most likely to cause a little bit of headaches. And then appreciate it, Bob. We'll let you go so you can do that. We got to get over to Alan because he's got the latest on storm track on these storms that Bob and Brandon are looking at. Alan?
Yeah, those storms are located, just a little bit to the northwest of Veneta, and Bob is just near and north of Veneta, Brandon north of the Big Cabin area, so you can see what they're looking at right now. In terms of the track of that storm system, it is generally right in there, all right? So we're going to track this to the east-northeast, and to be clear right now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. There's no tornado warning, but they have indicated again maybe some rotation there. We can see that on the radar, a little funnel appendage not too long ago, so we're going to track that for you. Right now we're at 7:30. Veneta is pretty close to that, just a hair north of it. I went ahead and included the track to include Veneta, so you can just remain aware of this. Blue Jacket at 7:42, Fairland 7:55, Miami 7:58, and after 8 o'clock it'll be Wyandotte, and then about 8:15, 8:30 it's out of our hair. It's not going to be an issue. It'll be across portions of southwestern Missouri and far eastern sections. So that is the storm cell that Bob and Veneta both have eyes on. They've got a great visual on that. Let's put it back up. Here's Bob's shot again in the Veneta area. We'll check in with Brandon and see his location. We'll just put him up on the screen live right now. So there's Brandon. Again, he is located actually near and just north of Big Cabin right now, Travis.
All right, yeah, it's still hanging in there. Brandon, good shot there. And Stephen, I'm going to go to Brandon back again just for a second. Hey, Brandon, quick update from you. What do you see? Any changes?
North, we still got evident rotation from time to time. It comes and goes. That area that we're focused in right there, that lowered area, right before you came to me, it was lowered in again. It's really trying to maybe consolidate right there, so we gotta have to watch that area very closely. I'll pan. You can see it kind of right there.
Yep. Still.
And it's definitely rotating.
It sure is. And so that's what we're seeing right now. So it's for the folks at home, you can see what's going on there. Again, that's just situated just right around close to where Brandon is at this point. There's another cell that's further to the north as well, but we're keeping an eye on what's going on with these cells. Hey, I want to jump down to Haskell, Oklahoma for a minute, just southeast of Tulsa. There's a little bit of a concern with you guys still with what's going on right in Haskell at this particular moment. There is in this zone right here, just on the south and west sides of Haskell, there's a bit of a circulation feature that's trying to cook or get kicked up, I should say. And so that is right along Highway 16 right now. Alan, can you look back to your west, give me an idea? I know it looks like you're going east on 62. Can you stop for a second and maybe I'd say reposition, but just get a turnaround for me and take a look at what's going on there with that cell as it's getting into Haskell, because I need you to stay with this one because it's more important right now for a second. So Alan, let's see, he's getting it right now. All right, let's go to Alan for a second, and then give me a quick analysis of what you're looking at, if you would.
Yeah, Travis, we've turned back around. We are facing back to the west, like you said. Taking a quick look at the sky, I'm not seeing any kind of lowerings just yet. The clouds do appear to be moving pretty quickly. Other than that, we just have some moderate rain right now. We're going to get back in that area and see kind of target a little bit more specifically.
Okay. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. So again, that's moving near the Haskell area. Just noteworthy to make sure that if you're in Haskell, just know you're going to get some scary looking clouds, even though from Alan shot it didn't look quite like that. So just be advised there. Also, we'll go back on up to, I tell you what, Alan, if you could, Mr. Crone, you want to give us a little bit of a storm track, kind of a little bit of information on this for the folks in Haskell, and then we'll go on up to around the back on up to Veneta.
Yeah, we'll just kind of draw this short term on the air here. So this is going to be around the Haskell area. This is moving to the east. Yeah, it's about 40, maybe 45 miles per hour. We'll give it just a little bit of the east-northeast motion there. So Haskell 737, Taft 745. Again, this is considered a severe thunderstorm. The potential for some 50, 60 mile per hour winds. Travis has indicated maybe that little notch right there. It needs to be watched. Anchor at 757. Muskogee itself at 759. Now there's already some showers and storms around the Muskogee area, already thunderstorms in the Tahlequah vicinity as well right now. But in terms of severe weather threats, a lot of that's going to arrive from the west, but those storms around Tahlequah are starting to pick up speed right now in terms of some heavy rainfall. But there's the track in that storm cell. It's just a little bit south-southwest of Haskell. Alan Hancock is right on top of that. He'll have a good view in case that does try to do a little spin job there as it moves close to Spring Hill or Porter or some of those areas. Muskogee at 759, Bacona 801, and the Fort Gibson vicinity around Muskogee, Fort Gibson itself, and then also more points to the east would be after the 8 o'clock hour, Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. So again, keeping eyes on that, and then back on up to the north, and we'll go and up to around the Veneta area. Bob's got a pretty good view of what's going on up to the north, and let's go to Bob first and get an update from him if we could. Bob.
Yeah, Travis, this cell has crossed east of Highway 2, and it's going to be just south, a little bit south of Blue Jacket. It's getting wrapped up in rain again, but it was rotating pretty significantly when it came across Highway 2. So I'm going to try and keep up with it, but there's two areas of rotation within that area, and both of them showed rotation visually. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks, Bob. Greatly appreciate it. And then Brandon, a little bit further to the south of that. Brandon, if you would give us an update on your location, then Alan will have a storm track for us. So what do you have, Brandon?
Well, Travis, we just went east here on 60. So we've lost it in the rain. We're going to try to get out ahead of it, but we can still see it out of our driver's side window. Circulation's literally probably, I'd say, about a half mile in front, just out my driver's side window. So I'm going to try to get repositioned there and get a better vantage point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can holler at Stephen, and Stephen can holler at me, and or Alan, and we can go from there. Thank you, sir. Alan does have a storm track though on the storm that we're talking about with Brandon. What do you have for us, Al?
Bob's storm track, that's a little better area that we'll watch for maybe a circulation trying to pop back up Blue Jacket, just a hair south there, south of Welch around the Blue Jacket, Afton area. And then you can see what Brandon is located here near Veneta. but we're going to do this track first for this northern areas. And to be clear here, this is a severe thunderstorm warning right now that we've got plotted on the screen. This is the track for that northern cell, which is going to be where Bob's located. So it's going to be in between Bob's location, just north of Veneta to just south of the Welch area around Blue Jacket. And that's moving to the east-northeast at about 30, maybe 40 miles an hour. That's going to put it to Fairland at 7:59. Commerce at about 8 o'clock, Wyandotte at 8, and this Baxter Springs area, that would be in Kansas shortly after that. So again, that is the northern cell. The one that Brandon is on, let me do a fast little track on that right now. We can shift back to Brandon in just a second. That's kind of moving east-northeast also at about 40 miles an hour. This is the one that Brandon is on, just south of Bob. This is closer to Veneta. So Veneta, you're pretty much on it right now. The afternoon area 746. And some of those same communities I just mentioned will have this storm cell also getting closer into that region here in the next 20 to 30 minutes.
All right. And let's go ahead and roll on over to Brandon right now. He's got a pretty good shot of that. Brandon, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis, we're here off of 60 looking due north. That's going to be the cell in between Blue Jacket and Veneta. You can see before it gets buried up in rain, that's the area we've been watching. It's kind of hard to really see much because of the terrain, but just above the one-way sign, which is an awful place for that to be right now, you can clearly see the these features that just look very ominous. There is some rotation in there. It's not real organized. It's real broad, but it looks like it's trying to consistently consolidate in that general area. So that's the area that we have to watch just in case something decides to jump out at us. Back to you.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate it very much. Thanks. And yeah, that's a look at what's going on up to the north. So there's two areas that we said. So again, you can see where Bob is located, and that's just to the west of Fairland, Highway 25. Bob's shot still pretty good on that. Hey, Bob, just real quick before we go south for a minute, any additional information on your storm?
No, it's a little bit to my north and east right now. I'm trying to get up to near Blue Jacket so I can go eastbound and get a better view of it.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, sir. Greatly appreciate it. All right, and we'll go back to radar again, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what's happening from that storm. So there's that one. Brandon's in the one that's near Veneta right now. Back along this line, as you go back to the south and to the west, still a lot of energy, still a lot of storm weather that is going on as far as stormy conditions, and atmosphere is very unstable still in some of these areas. So I want to go back to where Alan was located, and we'll kind of take a look at what's happening right in the areas pretty much around Haskell. It's moving through Haskell right now. Alan, are you able to see anything with your shot? What's going on with that?
Yeah, Travis, we've got a lower cloud base right through here. Maybe not the whole cloud deck, but we definitely have some super low clouds kind of dragging the ground a little bit here. No rotation with it that we can see, but it definitely has set down quite a bit lower to our level. It's kind of nice having a rain-free area for a bit, but if there's rotation with it, it's just a tiny little bit, but you can definitely see the structure has changed for us here recently.
Okay, all right, because that's what we're looking at right now. We continue just to check and see what's happening as far as that line. And there's other thunderstorms that are to the south, and Alan will take us through that in just a minute. But there should be some strong winds in this area, and that is now just past the Haskell area and moving toward the Redbird area. So if you are in those areas, and a few cells kind of broke out around OK and also down around Muskogee. So we'll be watching what's happening there, but just winds, and again, it's kind of scary looking clouds. Alan, we haven't been down to the south. I know we got to run down there, and that's your good neck of the woods. So if you'd give us a quick update on what's cooking down there.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's jump down to the south here. I got you follow right in the middle of the screen, McIntosh County. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings. You can see Sequoia, the tracker, Sequoia Quentin, near Shakota. And he is right ahead of a fairly stout storm that will move into Shakota. Technically, again, that is a severe warned storm, 58 mile per hour winds of possibility, some hail, heavy rainfall, and then thunderstorms that are strong to severe also extend a little bit more down to the south. There's some pockets of heavy thunderstorm activity around Hanna and Indianola, Oklahoma. Crowder, Canadian on 117, then back to 69. There's Blocker, and then the Bug Tussle area south. There's not a whole lot in McAllister right now. Areas just to the northwest of McAllister on 270, road to Ada, thunderstorm there. This got some wind, Scipio, maybe a little bit of hail. Let's kind of flip this over and take a look. Yeah, there's, the hail cores have really dropped down. And notice that the velocity data has also dropped down. This is kind of what we were seeing early this morning. Once it gets a little bit more to the east, it may run into an atmosphere that it'll take it down briefly. But right now, those severe thunderstorm warnings still continue. Pittsburgh County, McIntosh County, and then up into the Tahlequah area. Before I send it back to you here, Travis, let's get into Tahlequah very fast here. Take a look. There's Tahlequah. Boy, heavy downpours that are coming down right now. And there's not a lot of hail. That's some good news. Some small hail to the west of town on 82. There's not a lot of wind that we can see with it at this particular moment, but you got some pretty heavy rainfall that is underway from near NSU northward, and that goes into Chewy and Rose. So severe thunderstorm warnings do encompass the Cherokee County vicinity. Here's the good news right now is on the backside of the storm system. So this is the Tulsa Metro. The threat now has ended for anything severe for the most part. There's still some gusty winds around Bixby and Broken Arrow and some of those areas. But if you have been waiting to take that commute from Bartlesville southbound into Tulsa, or maybe from Okmulgee to the north, I think if you're in Okmulgee, if you could give it another 10 minutes before you get back on the road, you should be okay. But it's now starting to focus a little bit along and east of the 69 corridor. So we still have those areas from basically Lake Eufaula, Muskogee, Tenkiller, Tahlequah, back up to the Siloam Springs area, and then also to near the Miami, the Ottawa County vicinity. Brandon and Bob are still tracking those storm cells that have occasionally given us a little bit of concern there with some rotation. No tornado warnings. Again, these are all severe thunderstorm warnings. And then we've been watching, you can see I put it on the screen for you, severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15. And then Allen Hancock has been a little bit more to the south. Even that portion of the storm right now has kind of eased up quite a bit, and he's on 62, moving eastbound. He'll get closer into Muskogee soon.
Okay, and I appreciate it, Alan, and just talking to Leanne and several folks, newsroom. Unfortunately, we have a lot of damage coming in out of Wausau from the tornado from earlier. So once again, bad news for a lot of folks. A lot of places were hit in that area. We do have very heavy thunderstorms. Vaughn is on one of those. Let's get to Vaughn's location. He's just up. Okay, he's out south, coming off of 69. And so there's Vaughn, just south of Choteau. Hey, Vaughn, if you would give us an update, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, this storm is coming up in intensity, I believe. We're looking here at the back end of it here, where if there was any kind of rotation, it would be right in this area. So this may be one we have to watch here as it moves to the northeast. But right now, it looks like it's gaining some intensity. Back to you.
Yeah, and very good point. Very good point. Because you are literally closest to the areas that has a lot of shear right in that zone. And by shear, we mean there's some very strong south winds that are blowing in advance of it, and then you're getting the, and you see what's going on right there. And so this gives you a very high probability that we're going to have some wind damage of 60 miles an hour or more. Because this indicates strong, and so that's what we're seeing. So Vaughn's right on that at this point. We don't have a specific circulation feature. It's more of straight line winds at this particular moment. But right along that leading edge, that's what we have to be watching for, because any circulation feature that would happen could just spin up very quickly. And so if you're right in that zone, and that's like what Vaughn is looking at, and that's why there's like scary looking clouds, so to speak, because of that. So that is moving, again, just south and west of Choteau. That extends back down really into northern Wagner County and central Wagner County. So if you are in these areas, we do want you to be advised for what's happening. Hey, if you could, Al, I'm going to have you zoom in a little bit on City Street and then go back to Shear for a minute. And then I want to use Vaughn's shot. So Vaughn, don't move quite yet if you could. And what I want to point out is, so this is near 69 or Highway 69. So this is part of the warning area. So that strong line of storms, and I want to show Vaughn's picture again. just quickly, or not quickly, but this is that kind of ragtag look, and that's because of the strong shear element that's right in there, because that's pulling in. Now, the one thing that we have to watch for, and that's why it's just awesome to have Vaughn and Bob and Brandon, all of our guys, Alan, just because they can also get eyes on this, because when it's on a leading edge like this, it's very hard to really start to see a little bit of circulation. You see some of it in the atmosphere, but you really start to see it right along a leading edge. And some of this is confusing to some folks that don't understand what's going on, because it kind of looks like a shelf or sometimes roll cloud or things. So what we want you to do is just kind of know that what we're talking about is that as that comes through, we have to be very careful, because that's almost to 69 right now. Vaughn, before we leave you, any changes? Are you still about the same? Oh, he dropped off? Okay. All right. So what that is near Maisie, so that's something. Alan has something as well. Alan?
Yeah, well, Jonathan Polaski is going to be near Owasso. He can give us an update on from the fields and damage report in a second. But before we do that, Travis, I want to take you down to the south here. First of all, there's Vaughn. We're still watching that circulation. That is a little bit near Shodo and Maisie. But let me show you what's happening right now. This is south, okay? This is Hannah. This is Dustin. This is kind of the southern McIntosh County area, northern Pittsburgh County. See a little area right there? We're kind of watching that area. Again, potential, look at that. Just a little bit northwest of Indianola, near Hannah right now. The potential for maybe a little bit of some rotation trying to develop. At least we can kind of see that right now on the radar. To be clear here, there's not an official tornado warning or anything like that, but you can see we've got some rotation. That's about 2.5, maybe 3 miles west of Indianola right now.
Yeah, that's not looking good at all. In fact, we'll see if Sequoia can get eyeballs on that here in just a moment, because that is very similar to what we just went through with Owasso. And again, we're getting a lot of reports, as we said, from our newsroom, getting handed over to us here for the time being. We'll get to the coverage of what's going on up in Owasso in a little bit. But yeah, Al, I totally agree. Something like this can cause a spin up very quickly. So if you're in this area, in fact, do you have a storm track on that?
Give me a second.
Okay, I'll have you do that. So this is, again, just south of Tulsa, quite a ways south. So I-40 is up to the north. Here's Lake Eufaula and Lake Eufaula, Canadian, Indianola, and also Hannah. So it's right over Hannah right now. Very similar situation, unfortunately, to what we just saw in Owasso, and that's the type of atmosphere we're in at this particular moment. So if you are in this area, we do want you to be advised for what's happening with this, because this could very easily, it's going to have a lowering, and it is going to be very possible that it could have even more than that with a possible tornado. So I wouldn't be surprised if we would see, if this holds on together for another minute or two, if we end up with not having a tornado warning for you guys around Lake Eufaula. So let's see from Alan where that storm is headed, Al.
Yeah, okay, so we're at 750 right now, Samps Point 801. Canadian, you're at the very bottom of that, but you need to kind of watch it. Again, severe thunderstorm warning right now, but area of rotation trying to tighten up a little bit. That would put Canadian at 805. The Eufaula area, remember Lake Eufaula is so large, but Eufaula, it's south of the city. That's going to be around 810. Carlton Landing, 812. Lake Eufaula State Park, specifically the park, would be at 814, 815. Canadian Fork will continue on. So again, I've got this moving east, slightly northeast, at about 40 miles an hour. And again, this is right now just kind of a developing area of rotation that we're watching. No warning other than a severe thunderstorm warning, but it is there, and it's in an environment still that, these things can come up. When you look at it right now, it's just from a velocity standpoint, it's right in that kind of leading edge pocket there with heavy rainfall around Hannah and Dustin. So it's right in that pocket. There's Highway 9. Talk a lot about that near Blocker, and from Eufaula to the Blocker area, 9 south near Hannah. So that is the area that we're watching right now. Travis?
All right. Hey, thanks. And we do have a report coming in out of Owasso now with Jonathan. Hey, let's find out more about what's going on there. We're going to come back to you guys down in Hannah as well. Jonathan, what's going on?
Well, good morning. We're here near 86th and Mingo. We're in the Fairway neighborhood. We had stopped over in this area because we saw some tree damage, and then we spoke to some of the residents out here as they were looking at a little bit of their the storm damage they received. They received some knockdown fences, and we're actually in one of the backyards of one of these residents, and that's when they pointed out some roof damage to one of those houses way back there across this golf course, and so that's where we're going to end up heading to next to see some of that significant storm damage as well. But you can see, just based on where all of that part of the roof is just completely gone, completely missing. You can see just how strong those winds are, and it seems like there are a few spots in this area that we're dealing with some significant damage just like that. So once we move over to those areas, we're going to be able to get you a closer look as to what exactly happened out here, show you what exactly it all looks like, and hopefully we'll be able to talk with some people out there who saw that damage as well. The people that we spoke with just a few minutes ago, they were telling us that these strong winds, they were already up, but they could hear those strong winds. And like I said, it knocked their fences down. So lots of storm damage out in this area. We're going to move around a little bit. So as we said, we can get you closer to some of that damage as well, get you a little bit closer and show you what exactly happened out here. So we're going to go ahead and toss it back to y'all, right, and we're going to get moving.
Yep. All right. That sounds good, Jonathan. Appreciate it very much. So that's unfortunate because, as we said, some of those reports, we're expecting a lot more reports of damage to roofs and to homes, the way things are looking. So here's the latest of what's going on with our storm down to the south. This is still rotating near Hannah, and so Alan's put this together for us. So that'll take it to Canadian shores at 7:58, and then also around Eufaula at about 8:10 a.m. So again, circulation feature is quite evident right here near Highway 9, just to the south to Indianola. If you are in these areas, just be aware. We want you to be safe. Not a tornado warning yet officially, but it is rotating and there is a potential for wind damage if nothing else. So if you're down into McIntosh County and even northern Pittsburgh County, we need you just to be aware of all the activity that's down here. Also, Vaughn has got let's go north for just a second. And then Vaughn is on this leading edge of this really intense storms. And we had some of our computer models said that was going to pick up a little bit looking at some of the new stuff. And then he's near Choteau. Vaughn, if you would, give us an update what you're looking at.
I'm still on 69, not too far south of where I talked to you earlier. I lost connection there for a while, but this is kind of a second little area that's kind of further south and west of the first area. So a couple little areas here to kind of keep an eye on. But so far, this one does not have any kind of wall cloud type of look to it.
No.
But we'll keep watching.
And that's just perfectly fine with everybody concerned. So let's hope it stays that way, Vaughn. Thank you very much. And then also for you guys up to the north, up in Craig County that have been wondering what's going on. We're going to come back down south in a while, but let's go up to what's happening now. So we have a lot of rain, thunderstorms around the Grand Lake area, heavy line of thunderstorms going on around the Veneta area. Brandon's in some of that. Bob's also been involved in some of those heavier thunderstorms. Brandon, if you would, give us an update northeast of Veneta. It looks like the circulation feature, we've kind of lost it on radar at this moment. Do you see anything at all going on?
Yeah, Travis, we've done lost it. We're getting a lot of vivid cloud-to-ground lightning here in the past, I'd say, 5 minutes or so. We're moving north here on South 4430 Road. It's going to come up to East 220 Road. But, yeah, just moderate rainfall. Gusty winds probably about 45, top end 45, and just a lot of heavy rain. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it greatly. Bob's just a little bit further to the north. Bob, can you give me an update from your location as well?
I'm in front of the line right now. The area that was rotating before has gone up past the Miami Commerce area. Got a little bit of lightning starting to intensify just back to my west here, and that's going to kind of be a little bit south of Blue Jacket, and so I'm going to kind of keep an eye on it. As I make a turn here, you'll be able to see the area I'm referring to. Don't see anything specific right now, but pretty good shot of the storm right there.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it very much. Bob and Brandon, and of course Vaughn, and then extending on south, Allen and Sequoia. So Miami getting a heavy thunderstorm right now, and then you can see what's going on where Bob is located on 59. now, and then that's with the thunderstorms out to the west. And Brandon's in it just to the west of Afton. That's the heaviest rains. That goes again, there's two parts. Grand Lake storm, so to speak, and then also pretty much the Mays County storm, we'll call it, that continues in this area. And there's heavy rains, and then that's where Vaughn is located, kind of along this line. This is where there's strong winds. You can just see how it's lined out right in here. It's pretty unique, and a very strong wind shear in this area. That's coming in on Wagner at this moment. Then also further to the south around McAllister, as we've been talking about, and McIntosh County. These are areas that continue to be quite intense. And Alan's been working on Storm Track, and he'll have that for us in a second. But right now, Sequoia is getting ready to intercept what's going on with that cell. Let's see, Sequoia. Let's go to Sequoia just for a second. Sequoia, I know you're moving southbound on 69. Can you see anything at this point? I know you're there's a lot of water yet between you and the main part of that storm.
I can't see anything right now, Travis. Like you said, there's a lot of trees, a lot of everything in the way right now. We're trying to make our way down a little bit further south here, probably by Eufaula, and so we can get at least a clearer look. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, so again, he's intercepting a storm. Alan, I know you've been watching that closely. What do you have?
Well, that is an area of concern right there. That little area, just a couple of miles north of Indianola, north of the river, northwest of Canadian, and just to the west-southwest of the Lake Eufaula area. So Sequoia's going to probably get a better shot at looking into that. That is an area that is, we consider that a mesocyclone. It's got some rotation with it. It's going to be moving east. So far, the movement of this for the last, I would say probably 10 or 15 minutes, is mostly east. It's got a little bit of a northeast movement to it. I'll put it at 50, which might be a little generous, but that will give us some heads up here. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings, that's what we have right now, but that is an area that we're kind of watching right there. Lake Eufaula community itself, we're at 758, and that's going to put it pretty close to the western edge of the city there at 808. Carlton Landing, 810. And again, the computer estimated time of arrival, plus or minus a minute or two. There's Longtown, number 9. Great place to crappie fish, 813. Texana, 819. Eufaula, the dam at 823 for the stripers. And then Hoyt at 826. So again, that's some strong, severe storm activity that has the potential, and already, and I want to be clear here, it already has the potential to cause some wind issues. I mean, there's a severe thunderstorm warning out on it. But as Travis mentioned, we're kind of watching that area there. You see those different colors? That is a little bit of rotation. It's not very tight at this point, but in this environment, we have just a lot of dynamic energy. It's not going to take much for something to be of a concern. I know our friends at the Weather Service are watching that as well, so that's going to be just a little bit west of Eufaula, but heavy thunderstorm activity contends really all along that line. And before I turn it back to you, here's just a long look at this line that goes all the way into Pittsburgh County. Storms are moving into McAllister right now. These are considered severe. Then we've got severe storms that soon could be moving around Adams and Quinton, east of Hartshorne, Haleyville, over to Wilburton, and then those extend into the far western areas of Haskell County. Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. And also, we are. I'll have to ask the control room. Do we still have the drone up? And can we see that right now? If you do have it. Is okay, so we're trying to get that. Okay, there it is. So this is the Whirlpool plant that's near Owasso, up north on Highway 75 or close to it. You'll be able to see some of the semi trailers flipped right there, and so that was part of that tornado that came in. And we're kind of looking to see if we can see it from the tree damage as well coming across there. So it just clipped the building. Doesn't look like there's very much damage to the building itself, but it did whip through there and toss those trailers. Again, it's amazing the power of the wind, even on a small tornado. That was still just a quick wrap up of a tornado, and so that's just one site, unfortunately, that we're going to see around the Owasso area that got hit with the tornado. And but you see the debris laying around there between most of the trailers, and so it just came flying through there. Hopefully I don't see anything wrong with the Whirlpool building itself, but there is probably, I'd say, some pretty significant damage just because of the debris that's out there and the things that they'll have to clean up. So again, that's near Owasso when we had the tornado earlier, and so we're still watching that, and we'll have more reports coming up. Our news teams are all over that at this point, and as soon as we get away from severe weather here, we will let you know. Want to go back to radar. Thanks again, guys. We're still looking at that storm coming in on Eufaula. Sequoia has a pretty good view of what's going on now, or at least it's getting better. I see his shots pretty good. Hey, Sequoia, if you look to your west a little bit, what do you kind of, what can you surmise, we'll say, from what you're seeing, even though you still got a little ways to go to intercept that storm?
Well, it's awful dark back that direction right now. Not too much wind here in Eufaula. Just getting off the exit right here on Highway 9. We'll be going west right now. And I will give you some more information when I get a little bit closer.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much. Still got some action going on around Wagner as well, which is the storm has moved through Wagner right now, but there is a little bit of concern just on the east-northeast sides of Wagner. Again, we hate to have to just say everything, but we want to make sure that you have a heads up on what's going on across the area. So again, that's a live look from Sequoia. And then you can see around Wagner, Vaughn is right in the Wagner area. Vaughn, if you can you give me an update? Do you see anything interesting going on here, especially around Wagner and just on the east side of town?
Yeah, I cannot. I'm starting to see a base to my southeast, but it's extremely heavy rain. I mean, this is blinding rain when you can only go about 5 miles an hour on the highway, but it's letting up now because it's moved to the east side of Wagner. Sorry about that. But I'm starting to see a base. As soon as I get to see a clear view of that thing, I'll let you know.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it very much. And so again, that is a storm that is kind of interesting what's going on there. And Al, I know that you've got, let's see, we've got storm track down south, but also just for the time being, for the Wagner area. So you can see Vaughn coming in. Winds are strong. Let's look at shear on this if we could. So right along this whole line just has a lot of wind, and then he said the heavy rains. So this line is now making headway across Highway 69, moving to the east. But any place along this line is going to have some scary-looking clouds, most likely in advance of it. Said Vaughn is behind it. So if you're going to be in these areas, just be advised for that. Alan has a storm track for us. Alan, if you want to take us there, and then also I'll have you take a look down south again in McIntosh County.
That is that's the line. Pardon me. That's the line that Vaughn has just reported on. And again, pardon me, it's moving east about 40 to 45 miles an hour. Pardon me here. Topper's 805. Fort Gibson, the lake area, 808. Obviously, that's a broad, big lake, but 808. Okay, 810, Peggs area, 816. And we've got this moving east, slightly northeast, at about 45, maybe 50 miles an hour. It's got a lot of turbulence with it. So the clouds are going to be pretty scary looking. But we do have severe thunderstorm warnings, and these are not tornado warnings at this particular moment here. But Vaughn is right inside of that. He'll keep us posted there, and it's exceptionally heavy rainfall. Heavy rainfall continues all the way back up to Spavinaw. It continues also where Bob is located in Brandon to Miami and Pitcher with heavy thunderstorm activity. It is raining like cats and dogs around the Lake Eufaula area eastward all the way to Salem Springs. And you can see that severe thunderstorm warning now, look at that, extends all the way across the state line area into western Arkansas. And then another warning that's just a broad warning. Look at that. It is a big, large area of severe storm warning from Muskogee over to Lake Tenkiller southward. That includes all of Haskell County. So your severe thunderstorm warnings are being identified on your phone. Your NOAA weather radio is going off. Your phones are triggering. That does now include Wilburton, all of LaFleur County, Latimer, not yet, Poteau, Big Cedar area. You're included in a tornado watch, but right now no warnings. And then McAllister, you do have some pretty stout storms that are underway. We're going to take you back to Lake Eufaula here in just a second, but I want to check out McAllister. There's some small hail in the city. That's nothing significant the way it looks right now, but there's some heavy downpours, the potential for some gusty winds. We don't see any kind of rotation right now in the McAllister area, but the potential for some strong winds. And that's why you have the severe thunderstorm warning that is underway. Now, let's jump into, this is going to be the Lake Eufaula area. This is where that area of rotation is still underway right now. Again, this is a broad rotation. It does not have a tornado warning. Sequoia Quentin is right ahead of it. He's going to have a good look at this here. But this is moving east, and it's about maybe a 35, 40 mile per hour clip. And that's going to be near Enterprise at 8:23. Right now it is 8:06. Purim, if this storm cell continues, it looks like it will, part of this storm cell could be near you at about 8:30, the Kinta area at about 8:36. So we do have severe thunderstorm warnings that are underway for this portion of the cell in Sequoia. Let's take a look at his video right now. This is Sequoia Quentin. And Sequoia, pretty close to that circulation. He's just a little bit west of the city of Eufaula itself. Sequoia, tell us what you can see right now. Give us your exact location for folks just now tuning in here at 8:06 in the morning.
Yeah, right now there is a big lowering to my west. I'm on a 69 trying to get back visibility-wise where I can see it a little bit better. It's rained down where I was, which is terrible. So I'm just walking right now, and as soon as I see something, I'll holler. Back to you.
All right, Sequoia. Appreciate it. He's in a good position there to watch that storm cell. Again, that's kind of one that's got a little bit of steady state rotation here that continues on here and will continue to move to the east. I know our friends at the Weather Service are watching the storm, sending a message also indicating that, watching that storm as it moves eastward right now. So no tornado warning at this point. It's kind of a broad circulation, but that's what's called the mesocirculation. It's got spin in the atmosphere there. So that is a little bit near, just slightly west of you, followed by, a mile or two. And Sequoia's in a good position to get that. There, again, is the estimated time of arrival. Remember, these are computer estimated times of arrival, plus or minus a minute or two. But we want you to remain aware. The good news, again, we'll do good news first and go back to Travis in just a second. If you're trying now to commute, you're trying to get your kids to school, if you're on the back side of this line, yeah, it's still pretty windy and there's some wetness, but it's the head of the line where the severe threats are going to continue. Back behind it, severe threats over. Travis.
All right. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it, Al. Hey, and we're just going to take one more look at where Vaughn is located, and then we're going to take a small break because we're going to get the news operations involved because we have so much information coming in from out of Owasso and so many things that have been happening. And so we're going to, news is going to have to take a moment here to give us an update. But where Vaughn is located, so this is still east of Tulsa, near Wagner. And this is just a very salty line and a very powerful line with a lot of wind associated with it. And with those strong winds, Vaughn has kind of gotten into a point where he can see behind it a little bit. Vaughn, if you would, give me an update on what you're seeing with that line, if you would.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's too threatening at this moment, but I think more the area that needs to be concerned with is kind of north and east of where I am. I'm kind of on a flanking line of this, but you can see those winds. Those clouds are moving really quickly to the northeast, so there could be an area up there which would kind of be just east of Wagner and coming up on Fort Gibson Lake. That could have that little area maybe of some rotation. Travis, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate it. Thanks to all of our storm trackers that are out in the field at this point. Again, broad picture continues to show strongest winds, just moving again from northeast sides of Fort Gibson Lake, kind of moving into northwestern Cherokee County, north of Hulbert. And so you will get some gusty winds, and that's going to be all the way down to okay, along with a larger line. So one broad view here, and then we'll show you the storm track one more time of just what's going on. Sequoia is right near that at this particular moment. Circulation feature continues to be steady state right in this area coming in on Eufaula. Sequoia, one more quick update from you. See any changes?
Definitely a lowering. I can't tell if it's rotating or not. I'm sure it probably is. It's real broad right now. But we'll keep you informed, Trav.
All right. Hey, thanks, Sequoia. Appreciate it. So again, we're going to keep an eye on that. That's moving in around the Eufaula area, not a tornado. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this area, so it hasn't changed a whole lot. Back to radar for a moment, and then you'll see that where Sequoia is. So again, this is just a very broad area. And so it's coming in on the city at this moment. What we want to do now, since we do not have tornado activity, we want to take a quick break and kind of get back to pretty much recharge and also get the news folks involved because they have a lot of information coming up. So we'll be right back. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.
Hello. Yes, mic check, 1, 2. Thank you. 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Mic check. My battery has not been changed.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
IFB battery has